What is going on, Buzz Up TV fan nation? What's happening? What's happening out there? Major win for our club today against the Dolphins. Man, 24-20. And with the amount of outs that we had, honestly, we could have filled a whole other squad in this game. A complete, just hearty performance, guys. But appreciate everyone in the chat, guys. Oh, Jacko here, Jose, Jazzy, all my normal chatters in here. You guys are all unbelievable. Tani, Bradley, good to see you there. First time I've seen you in the chat, my man. The Bro T, good to see you. Funny Bunny, Up the Waz 95. Joseph, what's happening? Hope you guys like the little, the intros and stuff like that. I've been playing around with some stuff lately, and I messed up a couple of times. You probably would have saw my face in that little interlude or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, had a little bit of fun with the designs and stuff. But also, it's just a positive time right now, a positive time for the club. And guys, please make sure you continue to comment down below your thoughts overall. I'll get through my little spiel, guys, and I'll jump with you guys in the chat. Levon may be on just a little bit later on. I think he's due on for me at 7 o'clock Australian. I'm pretty sure that's 9 o'clock New Zealand time. But if he comes on earlier, that'll be awesome. I didn't mean to start the stream a little bit too early. I think it was scheduled for 6:30, but I think I just got overexcited. And you know what, guys? We're coming into the bye, so we may as well have a ton of chat before we go into the bye, obviously. And we don't really have a post-match show next week unless me and Levon put something together. Maybe more so celebrate our 1K subscribers that we hit last weekend, which is amazing, guys. But guys. Oh man, the emotions to see the boys that especially the team that we had to put together on the park today. We had many people pull out last minute as well. This wasn't even the plan to go into this game with the amount of outs that we've had. Obviously Graham Talfar looked like he was going to be late in, obviously with Chancey going down with illness. But before that, Chancey was supposed to cover that center role. Chanel covering that 6. Obviously Dallin going to fullback because Tane, shout out to Tane. Congratulations on the baby, on the bub. The amount of outs, guys. I cannot believe it. Oh, man. Especially the way we started the game, too. We went down pretty early. Defensively, we had some really solid moments, in my opinion, other than, a couple of little moments there. Obviously, the defensive moment, the first try of the game, I felt like sometimes this just happens with Pomps, as I keep saying, he's a good defender. He's just a very relaxed defender at times. It allows people to get on the outside, and that's why he caught us out, sort of that first try there with Jermaine Asako going over in the corner. The Herbie try for me, honestly, broken play. That just, some things like that happen in football. It just is what it is. The one that was a little bit the Hermiso try, obviously, and, Dolphins can do that against any team in the competition, but still, if we want to be, a little bit better, I just want to get all this little stuff away because I don't want to critique too much of the boys in this performance because the team we ran out there with, it's just incredible to see what we did out there with the team that we had. But in that moment there, Herbie was really killing us in behind the ruck. He found some really nice moments in behind there. But coming to the second half, we really held them to only one try, which was a really insane try, to be honest. I think, Monty really just thought it got reflected off the player. He started for a second there, Jermaine Asako getting over in the corner, which at first I thought wasn't a try. Then looking at it, he got the ball down convincingly too. So well done to Asako there. But on our end, guys, we held up defensively. Our scramble defense was unreal. Even if the Dolphins broke through the first line of defense, our scramble defense was on, very, very on tonight. I felt for the majority of the game. There was a really good look there where we built a lot of pressure and, started to add a little bit on both sides of the ruck with our kicking threat. Marcelo Montoya, man, the aerial threat of Marcelo. I thought that was prime Israel Folau out there. I'm not too sure. But just incredible, man. It was really good to see him stand out in performances like this. Joseph, thank you so much, my bro. Super sticker. Obviously, it doesn't really show the sticker here, bro, but thank you so much for the super chat, my man. $8.99. You're incredible, bro. Thank you so much. Jose, who's your man of the match, Ash? I'll get to that a little bit later on, my man. There's a lot of names here. There's a lot of names. I thought that Dallin was really, really solid out back. The energy he brought out back was incredible. I thought that Mitch Barnett was unreal in this game. I think Mitch really showed what he could give to the Blues in this game here. He played on the edge, moved to the middle, back to the edge. He was getting shifted around left, right, and center. but he just did amazing. I think within the first half, if I check my notes here, I'm pretty sure he racked up about 115 run meters or 110 run meters. And then we'll go to the actual overall, like a massive captain's knock, like getting the captain jersey. He did amazing out there. 174 meters, 21 run meters. I thought he was unreal. And I don't want to get picked up for Origin, especially in a moment right now of like where we're going to be losing players and all that sort of stuff, but he well deserves it. And if he gets picked up, it is what it is. Get him out there, kill it, and then bring all that experience back to the club. Like, I think he was incredible. I thought for the stint, I want to shout out one name that I don't think a lot of people would maybe shout out. Maybe I've seen it here in the chat before too. I'm not too sure. But I thought Tom Ale had a really good little stint there in the middle of that game. I thought he stood up in a couple of moments. I know he had the one silly offload in him. That was a little bit, I think that was after halftime there. He just got a little bit over exuberant. But I thought he had a really good stint there, especially in attack. Breaking a couple of tackles. I thought it was really hard to handle. I thought Bunty Alfar, man, like it just sturdiness, like only 73 run meters, all that sort of stuff, guys. Like, it's not Bunty's game. I think what he knows about Bunty is he doesn't like concede errors usually. Like there's barely any knock-ons from him. He's a sturdy player. The way he runs it behind the ruck, like unbelievable. And he just keeps chugging along, gets through his meters, but his defensive work behind the ruck is really where he shines. Shout out to Jazzy. I thought Jazzy's first stint was incredible. Had an error later on in the game. Unfortunately, we weren't able to have the challenge to overturn it. I'm pretty sure that was the Kafusi strip. In my opinion, it was the strip, but as I said to the bro, like we had a lot of like penalties go our way in this game too, which was really, really good to see. And I think the Dolphins were behind on the penalty count overall. I think at one point we were up 5-0, and I think the referee kind of balanced it out a little bit later on in the game. But still, we got a little bit of the rubber green in a couple of moments. I felt like we deserved a lot of the penalties, but you know what I mean? Like it was really good to see that we got a little bit of the rubber green. I know the try before halftime or the no try before halftime, that could be up for debate at the moment. But either way, like let's just take this win, get excited. And the boys really showed a ton of heart here. Amazing performances from all the young boys too. I thought Jacob Laban was incredible, like 27 meters. I didn't expect that. I thought he had that really nice part in that line break there where he got out in open field. And he was really, really strong. And defensively last week, he was really strong as well. I probably would have loved to see maybe a little bit more out of him, like a little bit more minutes out of him, like if Webby gave him a bit more minutes, because I think he's a star for the future. He's incredible. Yeah, guys, Dylan Walker just continues to show how vital it is for us to have really good foot speed in that 13 role too. And that whole thing of like the start of the year when a lot of people are debating about like whether Jazzy should be in the lineup or not. And, the Bald Brothers look, if we're going to get the same thing again, we're showing now that Bald Brothers look, when we have the foot speed from the middle, we really turn that ruck on our ends. And we really start to get down the field and we start to get those ruck meters. And it was really, really good to see. Like, that's really vital to our game at the moment. Also, shout out to Tamade and Chanel Harris-Tavita. Obviously, Chanel coming back in off a calf injury. I don't think he was supposed to play the full minutes, but because of the way everything ran out, the way everything was planned out. Actually, he was in that lineup that Webby put in, that he put to 6, and obviously Chance was going to center. But even then, I don't know if that was the plan if coming into this game, but still, like with the calf injury, coming back first game of calf injury, I thought his kicking game was really, really solid. He had that really nice kick that added pressure. He put Bostock just before the line. Like, that's a really deadly kick for a halfback to have that pinpoint kick. Same with Tamade. I thought Tamade's kicking game was pretty on tonight. I think he had like one kick I was kind of like a bit iffy on. Obviously, when we had the upper hand, the momentum was rolling. I think he put the grubber in behind. That hammer snatched up pretty easily. But other than that, I thought his pressure kicking game was really, really nice. Holding the Dolphins in their own end. We had those 3 repeat sets that really helped us drain a ton of minutes in the game. And then obviously Murata Niokore, so good to see that man back. Like, he is so damaging. He is so nasty. Like, oh man, like it was good to see him through the middle. But when we saw him back on the edge and scoring that try on the edge, I really do see that we're probably going to be looking at that look, especially when everyone comes back healthy and ready to go. But yeah, man, like, just across the park, I really enjoyed that. When we had all our boys down, we stuck to the system and it just worked to avail. And it also just shows that, like, all footy is really, guys, it's just a ton of effort and wanting it more than another team. Like, the Dolphins had a fairly full strength side here. I think only a couple of outs. I thought Isaiah Katoa had a gun game in this one. Herbie Farmworth was unreal and all that. And the boys just stuck solid. And I thought that was an unreal performance there. Tony W, love you. Thank you so much, man. I love this stuff. Never stop. $10, brother. Really do appreciate it, man. Your hard-earned money, like. Thank you so much, guys. You don't need to, but we really do appreciate it here on Wise Up TV. And we promise you that all your money, guys, will be going to us improving this product that we're bringing out here. In the future, maybe boost up the to a 1080p sort of service here on StreamYard. That's what we use for our streaming service and stuff. So it all goes to a great little a little place too, guys. Me and Levon will put it back into to Wise Up TV. So I appreciate every single one of you guys there. But yeah, like. Across the board, guys, I can't really single out anyone that had a really bad performance. Like Gossi had that early error in his game, and then obviously he had that one moment where maybe he could have came inside on Herbie. Herbie kind of shooed him out, and he took the out. But other than that, I thought Gossi was actually really, really solid. Got through a ton of meters, like 132. Really, really good there. Graham Talfa coming in, very inexperienced center, going up against Herbie Farnworth. They had a great game in general, but I thought that he held up as best as he could, especially against one of the top centers in the game. End up causing Herbie to blow. I think that was him and Gossi blow that, early, could have been try early in the game. Just really good tackle there. So, I thought, yeah, Gossi was okay. Like, he was good, but I don't think, Gossi will be a mainstay at the moment. I think he needs to get his confidence back in cup. But I think the one key thing I did see too, guys, I did want to touch on is how good that we have a coach like Webby. If you guys notice, if you're watching, I'm not too sure. If you're in New Zealand, I'm sure everything's on Sky Sport. I'm not sure where your ad placements are and all that. But for me, when watching it in Australia on KO, before it went to, an ad break, you got to see Webby actually walk up, and the first person he actually walked up to was Ed Gossi. And out of everyone in the half, going to halftime, I felt like that was the perfect person to go up to and just put his arm around him and goes. It looked like he was smiling. He looked at him, he smiled. And it was just, I bet you he was telling him all the positive things he did in that half to forget about those negatives and just continue on the game plan. And I thought Gossi was really, really solid in that second half after a really shaky start there. Paulie Roach, it sucked that he came off early with an ankle injury. I would have loved to see more out of him. I'm starting to look at him a little bit more of maybe could be a 14 threat. I thought, obviously Lussick had a good game here. I don't think Lussick was amazing. But out of the two, I thought Paulie Roach started really, really solidly. Then we didn't get to see a lot of him due to his ankle injury. But I think that's some really good contest there for at 14 jersey and that. And even though, when Wade Egan goes down, it may be a good contest, whoever gets that starting jersey for a decent time period there. And not taking anything away from Freddie. I think Freddie got through a ton of work defensively in this game too. He had that one miss tackle there, but I felt like a lot of that came down to that marker not working hard enough. He got caught at a defender. Sometimes that can happen. And as I keep saying, the Dolphins are really good at making that happen, especially in NRL with all their speed and stuff. But got through 46 tackle, guys, and only missed the one tackle, and that was the only one tackle he missed. That's a great knock for Freddie. Defensively, that's what he gives us. He's such a good defensive hooker. If you wanted the more attacking hooker, I think Paulie Roach would have been there, but just really, really solid work. I want to give it to both those guys there too. 40, Bunty. Yeah, bro. Bunty was incredible. I thought Bunty was really, really good. Had a couple of tackle breaks in this game too. That was really good to see. And just as I touched on before, Bunty gives us safety. And, Anton to start the year, I've been a type of, what do you call it? It's not all there for Bunty to start the season, but I just saw the upside of having Barnett starting or just playing longer minutes and Bunty, maybe if he's not starting, not in the squad sort of thing. And then we had Anton earlier on. And then when you start watching Bunty a little bit closer as what Anton does, shout out to Anton, you actually get to see really the hard-nosed work that he gets through. And that's something that I like to look deeply in a lot of players there, but I felt like I've missed something there. And hands up, I missed something on Bunty where just the sturdiness he has. And I don't think I've seen too many errors ever in his career out of Bunty off. I don't think I've ever had my hands thrown in the air and gone, Bunty, what's going on there? He usually doesn't concede too much penalties either. Usually he's a really solid proponent in the middle there that really gets through his work. I thought he was incredible. Jose is who upsets tonight. Yeah, with a favors. Yeah, bro. Unreal. Shout out Tanya. Good to see you in the chat. Thank you so much for coming through. Tahi, bro. Thank you so much for coming through, my man. Yeah, just incredible performance. Let's go through a couple of try scorers here too, guys. Obviously the first try there, Chanel Harris-Tavita. Really, really good work from Chanel. He was really, really solid in this game, as I touched on before. Really sturdy running game and that. But just in the perfect moments, I felt like, in this game. Same with Tamade getting over for his try, bouncing off a couple of players. It bounced off Isaiah Katoa, who I thought had a really great game in this one. If you're a Dolphins fan in the chat, like, you know, I thought Isaiah Katoa was unreal. And for the future, if the Blues are looking for a 7, I'm not too sure if you'll even get a look in this year. I think it's too early for him. But, like, even also if you're a Tongan fan for the end of the year or anything like that, like, he makes Tonga so much better. Like, his kicking game was unreal. That 40-20 he put on us, like, at the perfect moment in that first half, it really felt like they were doing, like, we were trying so hard, but Isaiah Katoa was really, like, finding us in this one. Dallin getting over in the 57th minute off a really nice short ball from Freddie Lussick. So a really nice moment there from Freddie. Hit the short ball, and Dal, bro, he just ran so hard. And Murata, off that short ball on that edge, like, it was really good to see Murata back on that edge. And I hope that opens up the look a little bit later on. Maybe we don't. Maybe he comes off the bench and becomes more of a momentum forward in the future. But I thought he looked really, really good on that edge as well. So we'll have to see how Webby really takes that when we get a full strength squad back on paper. And lastly, before I jump over to you guys in the chat too, guys, as I kind of keep touching on, like, shout out to the Dolphins. They came over. They actually gave us a really tough opponent here. I know they had to go up against, a team that was heavily depleted with the Warriors and stuff. But even then, like, sometimes it is hard to make the trip over. And I thought they had some really nice moments, like Herbie Farnworth, incredible, 202 meters, 3 line breaks in this game, like, incredible. Ewan Aiken, I thought he was solid in this game as well, 50 tackles, getting through his work as usual. Obviously an ex-Warrior that left us, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately, really. He just didn't want to be with us, so it is what it is there. I thought Max Plath got through his work when he was going there. I thought, actually, Jesse Bromwich had one of his better games this year as well. Usually this always happens against the Warriors, like a good, like a moldy man, or, a Kiwi boy always wants to have their best performances against the Warriors. I don't know why, but they need to stop doing that. But he had a really good game. Jeremy Marshall-King had some moments, like, didn't have his best game, but, like, those moments where Herbie was running in behind the ruck, a lot of that did come off of Jeremy Marshall-King and really ruck deception there. Jack Bostock, 158 meters. I thought he was a solid option on that edge and that. And, I thought we limited Hammer as best as we could, but Hammer still got through, 172 meters, 20 runs. Like, he still got through a ton of work. But this is all credit to our boys, man. Like, I don't think the Dolphins were too far off their game. Like, if we look at the stats here, the team stats, the Dolphins completed at 81%, which is solid. 31 of 38. We completed at 85%. That was amazing for us. 36 of 42. And we go down to our errors, complete 7 at 7. So good to see, all the juniors in that come up and really play and just, like, hold it up against a really top squad. Like, the Dolphins were a top 4 squad from memory before that game, and still are a top 4 squad currently right now. So that's a major tick on our end too. That's a major tick on our end. Running through a couple of more stats, guys, before I jump over to you guys. I really do apologize, but we end up winning the overall run meters, guys. 1,600 run meters to the 1,584 with the Dolphins. 535 post-contact meters, which I felt like early in the first half we were getting put on the back foot a lot in that, but we really turned it on during the game. Like, we really found a home in the game. 5 line breaks apiece, so that's really good to see. It's good to see our uptick on line breaks lately, and I feel like our attack has looked really, really solid as well. 39 tackle breaks. Over to the offloads, 8 apiece, like, really, really solid work there. We didn't get the most kick meters in this game, but still a solid 619. And shout out to Tamade. I wasn't able to shout it out last week. I think Tamade kicked for like 600 meters last week. That's like Sean Johnson areas. Like, that's amazing work there. And if I go to check actually what his kick meters were this week, I think it was more shared because Chanel had a lot of moments with the ball on the boot. But we'll have to check here. Tamade, 310, and Chanel 298. And I thought that was really good. Like, it showed a little bit of variation there. Maybe, when we look at Sean Johnson coming back, a lot of people have been calling out for a little bit of more balance, kicking game and that. It depends on who that 6 is, really. But even if Tamade goes back to the 6, I hope he gets a little bit more play call now. The way we've seen everything go at the moment, we can play a lot more of a balanced attack, in my opinion, as we see. No other big areas here. Tackle efficiency, 87 to 88, really, really close between both teams here. We only missed 36 tackles to the Dolphins 39. That's actually a really solid number overall in a game like this, especially with a lot of, like, key big names out. So really, really good to see. And yeah, nothing really else to talk about. We did win the penalty count 5-0, but they had a couple of ruck infringements, this and that. Like, yeah, they had one on report. So yeah, really, really good to see from the boys. So over to you guys in the chat, guys. What were your thoughts in this game? Let's have a little talk back and forth. And then yeah, hopefully the VOD will jump on pretty shortly and really help out here. Killer, thank you so much, man. $20. Appreciate you, my bro. Defense was squeaky clean as well. Gave the Dolphins nothing to feed off of. Yeah, it wasn't like out of this world, but it was really good for the team that we had on paper, in my opinion. We had some really nice moments. Our scramble defense was a ton better than what we had with those past weeks that we had before. So it was really, really good to see like the boys have an uptick in that area. So yeah, really, really, really happy with the defense in general. I don't think it was absolutely amazing. Like there's obviously things we could fix up on, but I don't really want to take that stance in this game as well. Like I think the boys really did well defensively in this game overall. That's discipline. Discipline. That was a big one too. Yeah. Good shout out there. Up the wires, 95. Discipline, 100%. 0 penalties given away. We had a couple of 6 against later on in the game, but really, really good little comment there. Jazzy, Killer Mozilla. Yeah. Killer every week, man. Like you're incredible, bro. Like we really do appreciate you, bro. We really do appreciate you in the channel. Jose, what's up, TV? Dolphins did well to keep possession in that first 20. Montoya was hype, man. 100%. I thought Monty was incredible in this game. Like he really did show like what, kind of what I've been arguing to start. Like I think it's really tough on like Monty for, he definitely has errors in his game and this and that, but like he's showing out like in the last couple of weeks, like 111 meters is a down tick of what he usually gets through. Like he usually gets through about 150, 160. But he was, a threat in the air. It was really, really good to see. Jacko here. Montoya's catching bombs was outstanding. He will not be going back to Cup anytime soon. Yeah, agreed. And I think it's going to be a really tough test to see what happens when Roger gets back. It's going to be a really some really tough questions, I think. Because I think Monty, he's now shown that he is an aerial threat. Hopefully consistently he can do this. If we definitely kick more down to his edge, I really do want to see that in the future. UPTHEWAHS 95, thank you so much for the $10 chat. Appreciate you, my man. Last 2 weeks, our regular first graders been put on notice. Big ups to our development system. 100%, man, 100%. I might touch on a little bit of our New South Wales Cup too, because I caught as much as I could in our New South Wales Cup. Obviously, Dimitri Xifikula debuted back again. And I thought he was really, really strong. Like he's a freak of nature, that kid. Like he's going to be incredible when he touches first grade, and he's in our top 32. So we do have an opportunity to do that. And then go to Celtics. This is not a Celtics channel, bro. This is an NBA channel, but yeah, shout out to the Celtics and that. I'm a Chicago Bulls fan. If you actually check some of my caps at the back, AI is a 76er, but it is what it is. Chicago, we're not in the playoffs, but it is what it is. UPTHEWAHS 95. Yeah, Jazzy. Shout out to UPTHEWAHS 95. Just incredible every week, guys. You guys are all incredible. Thank you for $5 too. Like, you're incredible. Barney, massive represent, 100%. Tahi, bro, Montoya put his hand up as a senior player. Yes, he did. A lot of peeps. Pompey, even though he struggled in the start for the first last 2 games, he has heaps better throughout the game defensively. Yeah, I think he finds his moments later on in the game. He sees what other centers or other defenders are doing against him, and he kind of fixes them up over time. It would be nice if he got it over him like pretty early on, but yeah, like again, like as I said, sometimes Pomps, he's a good defender, guys. Don't take me as saying he's not a good defender, but sometimes Pomps is so relaxed that at times he likes to cover in and then bounce out and trust his long limbs to get around and really grab someone and bring him down. We can't always be doing that. And that's kind of like the vice versa of having Roger there. I felt like Roger was a bit more up in your face type of defender, but I thought Pompey, 4 out of 4 kicking as well. That's another little thing that we can add with Bomps as well. That's what I mean. It's going to be a really tough question when Roger does come back. Do we push Montoya back to Cup and then have Roger on the wing? Do we push Pompey back to Cup and then have Roger at center? There's a lot of big questions here. Or even do we just continue to run this and see where we can put Roger at, anywhere on the field? I'm not too sure if there's any other options you could really look at with Rog, but it's just good to see our performances get together right now. And those tough questions are being asked right now. That's the best thing about our team right now. Richard, I thought our effort was better than last week considering the casualties. 100%, man. 100%. And we just saw the Panthers. I know a lot of people said the Panthers had an off week last week, which they did, but I felt like a lot of it did come back to our effort. And I think the Panthers may have looked at us as probably an easy trot, which the Panthers don't usually do. But they end up getting over the Sharkies, 42-0, I'm pretty sure, or 44-0 at the end of the day. Like, they killed that game. Like, unreal performance from the Panthers there. But yeah, we came out in this one, and like the Dolphins been hot to trot for a little bit lately. They've had moments where it looks like they're due for a loss, but I thought they were really good in this game as well. So I thought the boys really stood up, and that's the best sort of look in the performance. And if you actually look at all our other grades too, there's a lot of big standouts too there. So our development is going really, really well, and it's showing in both this sort of first grade look, going back to, all the players that have to cover that, all the players going up the first grade in New South Wales Cup, they're playing really well in my opinion as well. So really, really good to see. Jose, I trust Pompey to kick conversions. Yeah, and it's good to see like the change in the look around Pompey at the moment. I felt like Pompey had a lot of negative stigma around him for last year and stuff. Even like, the way we ended in the final series, a lot of people were questioning him. And like, the one thing is like he's always playing for us. He's never usually injured. Like that's a really big, key, especially if you look at this year, guys, like the amount of injuries we've had. That's the best thing about Pomps. He's sturdy. He gets the job done. And he's a good center. He is a good center. Pompey's kicking game was the difference in the end. Yep, 100%. And you got to give credit where credit is due. Jermaine Asako missed 2 kicks. We got all 4 tries apiece. That gets us the win. So great call there, Jacko. Benji, Montoya being dropped has helped LeBro so much. RTS can go to Cup. I'm not too sure about RTS going to Cup because I thought RTS wasn't out of form, in my opinion. I just think that we weren't using him to full effect. But there's a lot of, maybe I'll be proven wrong, the way everything's going. But yeah, Monty has been incredible. And like, I think maybe the dropping really did help him. Honestly, he probably did. Jacko here. Agree, Bryce. I think Gossi should be moved to back row and Cup and learn. Yeah, it'd be really interesting to see maybe Goss because he's a bigger body. He gets a lot of good post-contact meters. Would be really interesting to see if he would look good in that option there too. But we got a lot of really good like edge back rows coming through. Maybe I should touch on a little bit more of the New South Wales Cup. I'll touch on it very shortly, but I thought, we had one in New South Wales Cup that had a really solid game, in my opinion, too, that I am so high on, other than Sifakula, who I'm major high on as well. Killer Mozilla, again, bro. Appreciate you, man. Ash, when you chuck the Jersey and Dabuji? Nah, man, my footy days are over, bro. Are over. If you talk to any of my mates, I was never that great at footy. I've always been one of those people that watch footy and understand footy while watching. Well, I think I understand footy when I watch. I've just watched a ton of footy. Like I watch every game of the rounds, all that sort of stuff. I just watch sport in general. That's my biggest thing. I'm a massive sport nut. But when I was playing, like all I was a massive right foot step, and that was about it. I did like to play hooker in my younger days. Like I like that sort of look, getting through the work in the middle. But slowly, because of my size, because I'm a taller boy, I was skinny and tall. I got pushed out to the center and wing, and I enjoyed it out there. Obviously, I got to pull off my right foot step a couple of times, but nah, man, no way. All the boys that are playing right now are incredible. They're way above my level, bro. I wouldn't even touch freaking Mel Meninga's levels these days in like Q Cup and all that sort of stuff. Wouldn't even touch that level. No way. Rikers, RTS doesn't get game time now without injuries. I'm not too sure, bro. That's going to be a hard decision when he comes back and see how he look, but you can't. Like RTS has been a big signing for us. Like, yeah, I think the boys have all played amazing. It's going to make that a tough decision. Mumba, Webby's got some hard decisions to make once everyone is back. Who to drop, who to keep in the same team. Agreed. Very much agreed. Especially when it comes down to that 6 jersey until Metz comes back. That's the big one for me. Tamade has done enough to show that he's a 7 and he's a really good halfback. Just, I don't want to see him go back to 6 and lose this, you know what I mean? Where Chanel seems to be the type of guy that sits in and plays really well at the 6, in my opinion, just judging on the games. Well, the one sample size here, but, that Knights game, I thought he did really well at the 6 as well. So I'm not too sure. It's going to be really, really tough to see. And I think we just need a sample size to see how everything goes, and we'll go the smart way there. A lot of peeps, I guess Bomb's relaxed personality has a lot to do with how he plays. Yeah, 100%, man. He doesn't let the errors affect his game, stays in the game and gets better. That's the biggest thing about Pompey. And it's a different look of like, I think a lot of sports stars deal with this. Like, as I said, like if you watch EPL, like I kind of touch on the EPL a lot, but there's a player in the EPL that gets slated. And sometimes it's due, like Kai Havertz that plays for Arsenal. but because he looks relaxed, he's such a relaxed character. It looks like he's not trying, but he is. It's just his character. But he always has big moments in big games, and that usually comes to a fruition. Like Pompey doesn't let bad moments affect his game. He just continues turning up. Like if you look at the Roosters game where he got stripped apart with him and Gossi on that edge multiple times, he had some moments against Joey Manu later on in the game. He had that really nice left foot step on the inside of Joey, caught Joey lacking, wasn't able to get over. But no, that's Pompey to me. Like he's a good centre that just stays in the game and really showing out for all those people that were doubting him and all that, which is crazy. Like, shout out to all the fans. And I know a lot of you guys you're awesome and will put your hand up if you're wrong and all that. But, the amount of fans that were against Pompey have completely changed their tune now. But it's good to see. It's good to see the positivity around our players that we got at our club, because we've got some really good players at our club at the moment. Tahi, bro, Months, reserve grade made it a reason. Oh, Monty, yep. Reserve grade made him reassess his error areas. Having Pompey provides confidence in D. Yep, I definitely do agree. Jackie here, waiting for Bennett's presser to see if he's salty as Ivan last week. Maybe. He's a man of few words, usually, old Wayno. Yeah. Jacko here, Chanel will stay at 6, I think. Yeah. It'd be interesting to see how they go. But for me, I feel like that's my preferred 6, even though the way I've seen Tomato play, it's more so I think Tomato is an out-and-out 7, and I think we're seeing that now. And Chanel is usually, he's the guy to play that foil there for Sean Johnson. So when Shawnee comes back, so maybe this is good though too, because maybe Shawnee does need a little bit more of a rest, and maybe we can continue plugging in with Tomato. But when we come to the big time, we need Sean Johnson. I think, I know there's so much positivity around the club and the way we're playing football at the moment, but when we get a healthy Sean Johnson, he is better than Tomato Martin, in my opinion. So that's the full strength squad we need to come back to. And I think that's in general, guys. Like when we talk about the team that we're going for at the moment, like the energy and we're playing with like a whole lot of intent. And I feel like that's getting fans like out of the seats. Like it's amazing to see. And this is what we wanted to see, especially in that 4-game stint that we didn't have any wins and stuff. But we do forget like a lot of class that we're still missing. And hopefully when we get those boys back, because those boys will come back and they will take a lot of these boys' spot. And I think a lot of Warriors fans will be a little bit up in arms when they see a lot of like those good boys come back in the lineup. But the one thing we want to see, because we are a better team with our starting squad that we have, is those guys to play with the energy and the intent that we're seeing out in the New South Wales Cup, boys. And they're showing the path. The system works. It's just up to the boys to play out the system to full avail. The only one I want to throw up is more Tohu Harris, and maybe limited minutes for Tohu comparatively to Dylan Walker and Jazzy, in my opinion. So that's the only one out of my big starters. Like if they come back in, that's the only area I want to look at, really, in my opinion. I think that RTS will be good in that center role. I think that Monty will be good in that wing. And if Monty doesn't still perform in that, RTS can possibly go into that wing role, and Pompey will fill out that center. Everything else for me, everyone plugs into place. So, amazing. Warriors Fan TV, Kai Havertz. Yeah, Pompey is the Kai Havertz of NRL, honestly, in my opinion. That's the way I see him. Up Arsenal, baby. Up the Gunners. Up the Gunners. Up the Gunners. Yeah, bro, he was what I thought he said before it. Exactly, bro. Exactly. Jazzy. Yep, Eshe's the man, but needs to stop overcalling the whole top 30. Yeah, and I think, now we see a path where this is what I'm kind of saying is like all the boys that are sitting on the bench right now that are injured and stuff like that get to see these younger boys play out the game plan the way they are, and they can take pointers out of that, because a lot of our players that are sitting out, they are better players. Like that's the whole thing. But full credit to the boys that have played out on a football field. Their effort has been unquestioned, like unbelievable. And quickly, guys, before Levon jumps on, because Levon is sitting there in backstage, ready to go. Look at the big smile on his face, that mustache. He's a beautiful man, that man. We're going to just touch on quickly on the New South Wales Cup squad and how they went in their games today. Obviously, coming away with a unfortunate loss. Like, they had a lot of really good moments, in my opinion. But I want to talk about a couple of players, and hopefully there's some stats up here, because last time I checked, there wasn't any stats up yet. Usually it takes a little while before they get their stats up on the New South Wales Cup squads and stuff like that. But there's no stats at the moment. But I want to touch on a couple of players that I thought stood out in Cup. Ben Farr looked really, really good in fullback, guys. I thought he was really, really solid out back. Bussy Gala is someone that I'm watching out on. He was the SG fullback to start the year. So this is going back to under 17s, guys, under 17s, under 18s, around there. And he's jumped all the way into New South Wales Cup. So he's got a ton of potential playing on that wing. Had a couple of moments where, defensively, he's still learning that role. He's not usually a winger. He's usually a fullback. but he's got a ton of potential, in my opinion. Shout out to Tanner Smith, just plugs along. He's like a tractor again, sort of like that Tohu mold, like the Simon Mannering mold, like just gets through his work. He's a solid front rower that we have coming up through. But the two players I want to touch on three players actually I want to touch on before I jump on with Levon. Number one, Leka Halasima. I don't want to put too much hype on Leka, but I overhype him. I think he's absolutely unreal. I cannot wait to see him in first grade. He's on a development deal currently right now. Scored a try in this game, but he just reminds me of Jeremiah Nanai, but a lot more aggression. He's always in the contest as far as I see, usually out in the football field. Came off the bench in this one, and I'm pretty sure he got through a ton of work from what I saw in this game. I just noticed him left, right, and center. He's such a strong player in Cup, and I cannot wait. He's only just come back off injury. That's why he's playing an interchange, but he's our usual edge back rower there. I think he's incredible. Dimitri Xifikula, man, bro, when we get him out, like up to first grade standard, because as I said, he's a top 30 player, guys, so he has the ability to be there. He's going to be pushing for a lot of spots. Like, I think he's incredible. Coming off an ACL injury, came back in, just the aggression. Had one bad defensive read today. He led in a try. He got a little bit lazy in the middle there, but after that, he was just dominating people in tackles. He wanted the ball as much, ended off the game on the edge and looked damaging there. Almost coming away with the win there. 22-16, we end up losing the game, but we had a moment at the end there for us to pull it out. And last man, Tony Tupanua. And it's a big one for me because Satili looks like he's coming off contract and the Roosters may not re-sign him. Could be an interesting play for us maybe if we did want to bring Satili over. I'm not too sure if we do, and I don't really think that we need to buy any players in that at the moment, but if we did, I wouldn't be mad having Satili in the squad. But Tony's starting to grow now, and he's starting to find his role. Early on the season, I wasn't seeing too much out of Tony where I was like, he's incredible, but I thought he got through a ton of work today and really noticed him in the middle of the game. So that was our New South Wales Cup game. 22-16, we end up losing, but still good to see our Cup players stand up. A lot of our young boys, Basikala, as I said, I think he's only 18, if that, 17, 18, playing in Cup, and unreal. And we're sitting 7th at the moment with 6 wins, 5 losses, 1 draw, but still having some really nice moments in Cup. So I just wanted to get that out there for you guys so you understand what's going on in our Cup team while our first grade team is taking all our Cup players back up to first grade. Because last week we got the double over the Panthers in Cup and in first grade, which is amazing to see. All right. I think that's my spiel done. And, Levon, my brother, what is going on, my bro? What is happening?
Hey, am I in the right place? I'm looking for the aquarium. I'm looking for some dolphins.
Oh, the dolphins.
I think I might be in the wrong place. Sorry about that.
Did we turn into the Japanese Warriors? No, I don't do those ones.
I'm trying to look for Kelly Tartans. I'm trying to find some dolphins where they might be. Anyway, man, I'm so happy, man. Big up everyone in the chat. Far out, bro. Just what a performance, man. What an absolute performance.
Unreal, bro.
Had every right not to, and but that team, man, they keep proving us wrong or right, whatever it may be. But they got all heart, bro. They got all heart, and
ton of heart.
Everyone stepped up, man. Everyone played a really good game by my eyes. Far out, yeah. Just Tamaiti was from the attacking, his defense too. Tamaiti was awesome.
Yep.
Chanel looked good. Great for him to score the try. Marata was a beast.
Bro.
All
scary,
other middles. Man. Yeah, scary, bro. And just far out, man. We just awesome. Yeah, you do your thing, Ash. But yeah, I'm just blown away, man. Like just all heart, Again, just like you had what CNK pulled out, Tane pulled out. Throughout the week, Rocco Brewer. Yeah, shout everyone in the chat. Break 100. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Thank you, Jazz, as always. Hey, let's hit the 100 mark on 100 likes, people. If you are in here, give us a like, please, and a subscribe. We appreciate all your support. Yeah, man. I just can't. I'm just still processing.
It's unreal, right?
Yeah,
it's unreal, right? It's unreal, bro. Let's go for one step at a time, bro. Let's go for one through, we'll rank our players. We'll go, 1 from 10s on, we'll start off with our fullback. Dal, our fill-in fullback after this is our 3rd or 4th choice fullback now.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts on his game, bro? Like, I thought he was incredible. His energy was unreal. But yeah, where were you sitting with Dal at the moment?
Oh, it was
After that
unreal,
one?
man. He was he just put himself in the right spots. Yeah, got caught out on the 40-20. You know, Couture was awesome. Can't fault Couture at all. But man, that was just energy. Yeah, energy and his leg speed, and you know what he usually does from the wing, but to see it coming from the fullback position, really smart on that try too. Like it kind of was like he was like posting up someone in basketball when Herbie Farmer tackled him, kept the ball away, and placed it down. Just just smarts. Don't carry the ball into the guy and get held up over the line. It was like just little subtle things that I thought were awesome. Link play too was pretty good. I think Kossi could have scored if the pass was just a little bit lower. But
He
nah,
still even had an
overall, bro.
opportunity, bro, if he stepped
Yeah,
back on
yep,
the inside on
yep.
Herbie too, and like
Yeah, he
we
could have.
stripped him really well. So I thought that was really, really good to see. Yeah, it was the pass was a little bit off, but it was good to see him run that play and not look like it was like double guessing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like I said, like to even just do that type of stuff, distribution, all the little things. I thought he was, and those carries, when he kind of running across the like horizontally, I thought was pretty. Like I know he was trying to find little momentum plays throughout the game. I just thought that was he was just so he was brave, bro, and just energy. Loved it, man. Yeah, like Tomata was saying, 180 meters, shucks.
Unreal, man. Unreal. You know when he runs across the field, bro? What does that remind you of? Remember that Metcalf try? I think it was against the Raiders. That setup. He runs across the field, finds that one option, bang. He's got a nice offload on him. Sometimes he scares me when he gets that offload out and all that, but I thought he was like his energy is the best thing about Dal, and I think that's the best thing about our two wingers with Dal and Montoya, the energy and stuff. But well, touching on Montoya, bro, what were your thoughts on Monty? What I thought he had a solid game here. He's an aerial threat, bro. Like. We're starting to see an aerial threat out of him now. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I just thought again, he's come back from like I was critical of guys being dropped and then coming back straight away. You think, they're kind of messing with their heads, but he came back from being dropped and he was all positive, bro, and diffusing those bombs. They're tricky, and he seems to have kind of settled himself really well. Wasn't any stupid plays, like nothing really like. How he drops the ball usually or in the play the ball. It was just like really calm. So yeah, I'm just thinking just one of his really work rate is just enormous. You just can't fold him for anything like that. But yeah, that catch, bro, that we needed that. We were on the, we were down 10-0. We were looking for something and to get that ball and then the pass to CHT, we go over and you just start to build belief, after that try. You're like, we're really in here. He was awesome, bro. He was a beast. He was a beast. Yeah.
Before we continue to move on, bro, the origin squad for the New South Wales Blues has been named.
Okay, who we got?
Can we get the drum roll?
Yes.
All right. We got a warrior in the Blues, baby. Mitch Barnett, number 20. I see him down there at number 20, bro. Unreal.
Can you share that? Can you share that one? Is it up there?
I can't get it up, bro. Can you? Are you able to chuck it up? I think.
Let me just quickly.
Shout out to
Mitchie
Afterlast, $10, bro. $10 for Mitch Barnett. Nice, brother. Appreciate you, man. Mitchie B. But yeah, you want to go through the do you want us to go through the New South Wales squad before we get through?
No, we'll say that, bro. Sorry, I got distracted, but yeah, that's bro.
You're right.
That is awesome. Yeah, sorry, I'm just looking at it now. Zach Lomax,
a couple of names.
Swilly, Crichton, Tor.
Hey.
Yeah, we'll get into it. We'll get into it. I'll save that one. Let me just wrap up my Warriors thoughts. Mitchie B, congratulations, bro.
Unreal.
Well deserved, man. Well
round
deserved,
of applause.
brother. Absolutely.
Hands
Give
up
him
in
a
chat.
round of applause. Yeah, hands up in the chat, people. What, man, well deserved. First Warrior. Can anyone in the chat give me, or maybe you can, Ash, when was the last one we had that was an origin? Was it Lillyman?
Jacob Lillyman, I think. Jacob Lillyman.
Is that 20?
It's a long time ago.
13 years ago?
Yeah, bro. That's like 2013, 14 areas, 2013 from memory. Someone just definitely double check in the chat, but yeah, pretty sure it was Lillyman, bro.
Lillyman was the
Jacob
last
Lillyman.
And Lillyman finished up with us around 2013, I think it was, maybe 2012. I can't remember which year he played though. That's a long time between drinks for an Origin representative from our club, but well deserved, man. Well deserved.
Fuck. He used to plug along that, man, bro. He used to do a ton of work in the middle, old Jacob. But
Yep.
yeah, just shout out to the representatives, man. Like, yeah, 2017, he finished up with the Queensland. He was with us 2017. So that's the last time we had a player in the Origin arena.
Wow, that's awesome, man. And Mitch, like, he does suit the profile of a Mitch. I think he'll go well. He's the 20th man. Is that listed as in who's the starters? No. Or is that just a
It
list of
looks
names?
like it is, bro. I think that's the way the team's probably going to run out. And then, Matty Burton, well, we'll get for him a little bit later, but, the last three, I think, will be the reserves and added into the to the squad. And maybe judging on fitness too, they might fill in a spot there too. So, because obviously Nico Hines is with injury and that. But we will get to that later. Let's go back to the Warriors. Guys. We will get back to that later. And also, if you want to come check us out too on the Tuesday night show, All You Can Eat Warriors, me and Levon will be having a State of Origin showdown. Obviously, I'm a Maroons fan. Levon over here, he's going to be the Blues fan for the day. He's a Blues fan in general. But really excited for that one, guys. So, yeah, tune in on Tuesday too for all our thoughts coming into Origin as well. Obviously, we got the bye week coming up, so won't be talking a ton of Warriors, but we will be talking a little bit of Origin as well. So,
yeah.
While we move on,
just quick, before we go, just quickly on Tuesday night, guys, we will be having a few guests as well. We wanted to do our 1K stream, and we might be doing a little quiz night. So jump in, hang out with us. Yeah, just to celebrate our 1K. We haven't officially done it yet. Everyone's been asking in the chat to when we're going to do the 1K celebration. We're going to do it on Tuesday. Do a bit of Origin. Do a bit of everything. Yeah, and they've got maybe a prize to give away. So if you're keen, subscribe, like, all that. We might give you a prize. Okay, a little bit of a Kahoot. Bring your phone to have a little bit of a Kahoot.
If you want to jump in and win a prize on WhatsApp TV, guys, you better tune in on Tuesday night. Do not miss it. Do not miss it. We're going places. We're going places. This is incredible, bro. I'm so excited, man. I'm so excited.
Little
I better not lose out on the quiz.
Bring your phones and your codes.
Save your dollars. I cannot wait, bro. I cannot wait. But all right, the man, bro, the guy that is becoming a loved guy again for the Warriors, Adam Pompey, fan favorite, Mr. Adam Pompey. What are your thoughts on ads in this game, bro? I thought he was solid.
Pompey has just been doing what he's been doing for a long time. What you're seeing from Pompey isn't any different. Yes, he's part of the chain that leaks a try a game. We understand that, and it's not always him. But that does happen. But everything apart from that, he starts to figure out things as he gets into the game as well. He packed his lunch. He put Avarillo in there in his lunch box, and he went to school, bro. He just wrapped them up. He said, "You're not going anywhere today, bro. Nowhere to go. You're coming with me to work. Coming with Dad to work." You know those ones in the holidays. You know those ones in the holidays where your dad wakes you up. Come on, son, you're coming to work with me for 2 weeks.
Bring your child to work day.
Have Barillo in a bag, bro. He said, "Come on, I'll show you how to work, son." Yeah, he's just been doing it, and those kicks, weren't they just beautiful to watch over? Like the curvature of the kicks, and they just floated like they were just perfect supreme kicks. Oh man, he's been doing that. We discredited that so much because of I suppose RTS and the rise of Berry, and that this man has been getting, we've sung his praises for a long time. We know what he brings, so he deserved every rep that he can get, man. Absolutely proud of Pomps.
Yeah, as I sort of touched on before, like he's just a solid first grader. Like he's good, like he's really good, and we need that in a squad. Like you can't have a squad full of absolute champions. And I'm not saying he's not a champion or anything, or he could grow into that, but he's a good, solid player that doesn't miss a game of football. And how vital is that? Like, especially if you look at our team currently right now, the amount of injuries that we have, like that is vital. When you got a good player like that doesn't get injured, that always plugs on, does a job, like that's unreal. And I think that's a big testament to what Adam Pompey is. Very much like a Bunty Alfoa. It's a lot of those things that we miss out on a little bit. They just do a job and they do it really, really well. Any other points on Pomps before we move on to the debutant, or I think it's second time debutant. I think he played one earlier time. I think he played 18th man at one point. But
Okay,
Graham Talfa, I think he actually is a debutant, honestly. But Graham Talfa, bro, what were your thoughts overall on old Moala?
Yeah, he was good, man. He's good. He was solid. That try saver on who was it? I forgot who it was. Yeah, on
Herbie
Farnworth.
Yep.
Massive. Yeah, I know. I was really impressed with his game. Kind of a simple game, but leg drive, leg speed, it was good. Everything I thought was solid, and just again, great for these guys to come in. The opportunities that they're getting, man. I just think. No one again. This is credit to the team and Webby. No one looks out of place. You know what I mean? Never do we look kind of like this guy is just does not belong here. You know, it's just a credit to the training these guys have had, the development. And we're going he's 4th, 5th string center.
Yeah,
and short notice, like short notice. Like when did we know about CNK? Maybe yesterday,
bro. I think yesterday.
Like, bro,
late notice, bro. And he's been good in cup. He's been really, really amazing. But obviously, the big names we always throw around in that center role is Ali Leotar, Adam Bompe, Rocco Berry, and RTS, and all the players that we have covering that center role currently. And for him to get a role like this and to step up and be another great option there that we can put in and plug a hole, not a lot of teams have that. You know what I mean?
No.
A lot of teams, when they get pretty down on their depth, they don't have a player of this sort of quality, which is really good to see coming up from cup. And he's a big body, bro. He gets through a ton of work. He's got that tackle break ability. If you watch him in cup and that, he's solid. But yeah, I thought he was good. He was good. I wasn't like crazy outstanding, going to be like an Ali Leotar or anything like that. But if we ever get to that again, I'll happily have him back in the squad, and I wouldn't be too worried. I know he'll do a job. I think that's the best thing for him.
Yeah, and the game plan was just do your job, and the rest will be sorted out by the halves, and So he played within the game plan. Again, the credit to the guys is that they don't do anything bad. You know how we talked about Laban previously and others, they're not doing anything wrong or anything bad. And they're not doing anything over amazing, but they're not doing. The main thing is they're not doing anything bad. It's not like mine on debut or whatever it was, 5 drops. We don't. Kossi and against Melbourne.
Yeah, Melbourne. Yeah.
When you do a debut, we just want you to play solid, and that's what he did.
When was the last debut do you reckon we've had in Webby's era that hadn't filled in their role and had a ton of errors? I don't think I've ever seen one in a
the Matrix one was unfortunate because he got Simbin,
yeah.
He was actually gonna be okay, but yeah, but again, it wasn't a bad thing. It was just
slapping Nathan Cleary.
Yeah, well, when pushing his hand along his neck area, pretty much.
That's barely anything.
Yeah, how the NRL implement rules at different times. Yeah, he just had the right coach wrong, pretty much.
But yeah, that's a credit to Webby the system, bro. We've had some really bad debuts in the past, from memory of the Warriors. We've had some shaky ones, but we've everyone's been solid. The ones that have plugged a hole lately, like Tane Tuapiki, when he filled in that role at the Titans, that Titans game, I thought he was really, really good then too.
Tane played the Cowboys too earlier in the season. It was awesome.
That's right. Yep. And then look at Paulie Roach, last week was incredible. Got another knock this week, start, and obviously went down with an ankle injury, but I thought he was really, really good too. And we'll get to him a little bit later on too. But moving on, bro, we'll go to Ed Gossi, bro. What was your thoughts on Big Goss? Obviously had a shaky start there, but I thought that it was good to see that. I kind of touched on, I'm not too sure if you saw me a little bit early on, but I touched on that. If you actually, because you watch it on the KO sort of stream, don't you? You don't watch it on Sky Sports and that.
No.
Did you see just before the ad break when it turned to the boys in the shed, the first person that Webby actually walked up to?
No, I didn't see that.
It was this man here. It was this man there. Ed Gossi walked up, bro, put his hands on both sides of his stool, had a smile on his face, looked at him, made Gossi smile, and I just knew it was just I bet you anything he's gone up there and said, listen, bro, these are the positives you've done in your game. Forget about this negative. Get yourself back in the game. And I thought he was solid in that second half as well when he got back to his game. So, what was your thoughts on Ed Gossi, bro?
Koss, he's just going maybe through a little confidence dip overall. But no, the second half was great. He got into his carries, man. We got into his work. He coming in again. He's just got a lot. He's got a bit of work to develop and to build that consistent game. We know what Kossi can do. when he's fit and healthy. Probably hasn't been overall healthy or fit. You can see he's gassed at times. I don't know if he's holding an injury or what it is. He's just not there yet in terms of either mental or physical. But like Webby believes in these guys, whoever he puts on the field, he makes them believe. And again, he did make it. Richard say he made us nervous. He did, but he got through it. You know, he got through it in the end. And those carries that he made were really good. I can't apart from that.
I think it's definitely seems to be a mental thing with him at the moment. Like he's obviously out of form, and sometimes it can be really hard to break that form, especially when you go for a slump and you have moments like that. You know, the drop ball early, like the Roosters game, drop ball, the couple of big bad reads and stuff with him, and bumps on that edge and stuff. Like sometimes it's really hard to shake that, but you know, when we get our boys back and he gets back the cup, hopefully he works on those areas. And, you know, he's got a lot of talent. We've all seen the talent in him and the potential. A lot of people are throwing up the potential of maybe him moving to a back row sort of look or anything like that. He even has he plays like pretty well in the center from what I've seen as well. But like a lot of it is just mental for me, I think, with Goss.
Mental for him. Yep.
Just needs time.
He just needs time. I had some thoughts when I was watching Goss. I was like, Goss, bro, you got to step up a bit here. But I think he's a guy that had a really bad injury. But up until that Penrith game last year, he was beast. He played both sides. He was good on his reads in terms of jamming in, knowing when to come in and out. And look, the situation he's come into, I thought was really unfair. I mean, at the Roosters, it was both him and Pompey was, against the top class Roosters who were just destroying teams. It was tough. Then he gets dropped again from Montoya, who obviously, has picked up, and now he's getting put on the right wing. So just he needs his time to grow. He'll get there. He'll get there, but we can't quit on these guys. We just can't.
No way. If you put a negative stigma around a player too much and stuff, it's really hard for a player to come back in first grade and really break that, in my opinion. Like Pompey's been a proponent to that, and there's other players that we've had that are definitely proponents to that. But I feel like a guy that a lot of people like at times just get a little bit of negative stigma, but at times I think like a lot of people do love him as well. Chanel Harris-Tavita, bro, like filled in his role really well. I thought and really kind of threw up the question of like, now, where do we look at when SJ comes back? It's going to be some tough questions of who fills in that 6 role again, because Tamade looked really good in the 7. Chanel continues to look good in the 6. Defensively, just strong, bro. What's your thoughts on his game? Like that left foot kicking game and that, as you touched on earlier on, like he had some really good moments with the boot as well. Like that moment that he put Bostock in the corner, that kick for a halfback is a perfect kick before the try line. Unreal there. So what were your thoughts on Chanel? I thought he had a very solid game in my opinion, but what were your thoughts?
Yeah, he was good. Again, I talked about preseason pretty much. The left sided kick is another way to keep defenses balanced, and he's using it well. I think they both did really well. Even if you look at Tamida, sometimes he get the ball on the right hand touchline, they'd pass it back to him, 5 meters in from the touch, and then you kick it back to that same wing. I thought there was a little genius. Like there was a lot. Like instead of doing a massive crossfield kick, you kind of pushed it kept the whole kicking game plan was really well balanced. I thought from both.
I thought so too.
Like it kept it evenly balanced, both of them. But Chanel, I think he didn't look out of place. He looks good. Definitely a shout for him to be a starting 5'8". The left kick does keep teams balanced. It also defensively he's strong. He adds value in that area so much. He's doing his little extras, 1%ers. I think he's going to be fine. Happy for, and again, the argument you'll come back to, who is the best 6 in the system? And we're seeing Tamida and his strengths are more of a 7, more of a first receiver, more in a set the shape himself as opposed to being on the end of it. We'll have to really wait and see. But I like. Yeah, it's really working. Who for me, the answer is who can best work with Sean. I think ultimately it was Metcalf that best worked with him. He's now injured. Sean will be back soon. We're just going to say, hey, Tamati, you've been great. If this is the case, Tamati, you've been great. But we see CHT as the better 6.
Yep.
And you just got to be ruthless if that's the case.
I'll throw that question to you, bro. Like, would you rather, as a fan, to see our first game back with Sean Johnson his half pairing, just going one more time with Tamade to see if like this whole time of him being 7, for him to call plays and everything like that, to him to get his confidence back, to see what that look is there? Or would you rather see just go rip the Band-Aid off? Chanel, you're in there. We've seen enough of Tamade at 6 and for him to be more of a 7, because we do agree he looks like more of a 7 as we've seen now with all the things that we've seen. What would you rather see? Would you rather see one more time with Tamade before we kind of make a decision there, before Metcalf's coming back, or, you know, run with Chanel until Metcalf comes back, or like just rip the Band-Aid off and just do that?
I think the actual difference is Dylan Walker. I think he kind of sets the shape and works it differently to how Tohu is. I think just like decision making, especially with Dylan, he plays it really well. And so maybe that's part of the reason why things are looking a little bit different. I think obviously, you know, Tamade and CHT, but I think Dylan does offer something different in terms of balancing out how it looks. But yeah, I would like to see it one more time with Sean to confirm that, you know, he's not a good fit with Sean. But at the same time, I think Sean will learn a lot from watching these guys on the sidelines. Well, he should be, because he can, you know, for me, I'd be just saying to myself, shucks, look at these two. They got 2 wins on the trot, and depleted squads had no right winning it. What can I do to fit in? What can I do to amplify them a bit more? Whether it's CHT or Tamade, it doesn't matter. Sean needs to learn, how can I best work with my other halves? Because it's been that way for a long time. He's been calling the shots. Now you've seen a different side of the things where you can just really kind of, if you get it balanced. But I think Walker's the key. I think if we see actually, what we should do is actually see Walker playing again with Sean and Tamade and see what that looks like.
Yeah, I agree. I'd love to see a lot more minutes put into Walker and really limit a lot of Tohu's minutes, unless Tohu wants to get through a ton of minutes at front row or something like that. But even for me, I think we just need to limit Tohu a little bit and maybe play him a little bit more coming into the final series, because I think that's where Tohu's experience will help a lot. But again, I think that it's going to be an interesting question, especially coming up to when all these boys do come back. Because I do agree with you. I think there's got to be a lot of look on Shawnee now to be like, all right, maybe I shouldn't be as much of like, I need to get this done for the boys. Like, there's a lot of like, the system works if the team works. And you've seen it with the Panthers. You've seen it with, you know, all these big systems like this. And Chanel and Tamade have just proven that, like, if you play it to the way it's supposed to be played, you give even balance both sides. That's the way the system sort of works. So it'd be really interesting when they come back and see really where Webby's going to go with there. But we may as well move over onto Tamade too, because we're going to be asking the same sort of things too. Like, what were your thoughts on Tamade's game today? Like, playmaking, I thought he was really, really good. Honestly, I thought the one kick that maybe wasn't on for him was the one when we had the front foot footy. He tried to put one in behind and Hammer snatched it up pretty easy. He got that wrong. But other than that, I don't think he put too much of a foot wrong. He ran when he needed to run. There's maybe a couple of moments he could have played out the back when he needed to, but I thought the Dolphins defended as best they could in moments too. So what were your thoughts on Tamade? He's been solid for us to be in 7 the last couple of weeks, man.
Bro, he's just first thing is defense. His defense is really good. Like, he starts so his contact's really good. That covering tackle on Bostock towards the end there needed that, bro. Needed that, and he stepped up, man. He's got a kind of good long range speed. He can maintain his speed for a decent amount. Not elite, not elite.
I thought that too. Like when he went up against Hammer.
But Hammer just, you know, blitzed him. But there was the one even on Bostock. He was behind Bostock. Well, he was kind of in line with Bostock a little bit, but he just kept pursuing and maintained the speed that he's got. He can maintain that speed for a while. So yeah, defensively for me it was just the end of the decision making was really sharp. Like, he just kept feeding the back rowers and just trusted that they'll get over. You know, I think like you've been talking about, feed the back rowers and trust that they'll get over most of the time. The 1-on-1 for, I think, Marata was just proved, you know, a point just hit short. If they're going to shoot out the back, just trust 1-on-1s and Marata will get to them. But so I think that those decision making options that he's done far out, he's been looking really good, really sharp at it. The kicking, again, he doesn't have a super meaty long kick. No. But he has a kind of a weird way of like kicking it towards the sideline, and it kind of neutralizes the you know what I mean? It looks like it's going to go out. Sometimes I'm like, holy crap, come on, bro. But it actually, what it does, it actually neutralizes the run up.
Yeah.
So even though, so for example, if you kick it to the 10, they catch it on 10 meters, and they run up 15 meters, so they get to the 25. He's kicking it like almost on the 20-meter line, and they're getting maybe 5 meters. So you're still getting the same result, but a little bit different way of doing it. Yeah.
There's been a couple of moments the last couple of weeks where he's done those kicks, and it, like, teams have really, got indecisive whether to leave it or not and let it bounce. And we've had some really nice moments on the back of that. Like the Roosters game, a couple of weeks ago where he had one of those kicks and that, where Jacko Ford almost picked it up and, changed the game a little bit there. And even last week, there was a moment like that against the Panthers too. So, that kick sometimes can just put like a team in two minds, and really, like, that's the worst thing in footy. If you're not all into one way, we've seen it a couple of times with us as well, but yeah, it's an interesting thought, man. Maybe it's the curvature in his kick.
Yeah, the curvature. Yeah. Trust me, guys, curvature. You'll learn how that. The curvature of the graph. The graphs. But you're like, I feel like they're accidental sometimes, but then they kind of land in good spots. They're like dead zones.
I know.
I'm like, okay, we'll take. It's like, oh well, if keep doing it until it, until it doesn't work anymore. But yeah, and then I just thought, that try for him was awesome. Again, just showed you didn't force the pass, cut back inside. His actual ball playing at the line is quite good too. If you see some of his lines, he'll go really deep into the line and then he'll release the pass at the very latest point. Yeah, and you'll see things start to open up on the outside. He's very good at committing with his lead runner with him. He'll go right at the line with the guy until the very point, and then he'll release the pass. So little details around his game, I think he's been really good, man. And like far out, a guy that's been bagged a lot since coming back from injury, to see him play that well while still hunting and fishing nearly every second day. I mean this guy's a genius, man. He can still hunt and fish and go. Oh man, can't believe it.
He's unreal, bro. He's unreal. And like, to add to that point, bro, too, like you saw it with both halves. Like, I think the best thing with Tamaida, he gets really deep into the line. And as a halfback, that opens up so many looks out the back too. Because if you play short, you got two things to worry about. You got your edge back rower running deep into the line. You got your halfback, it can go, dummy and go. And if he goes last minute out the back, it's really hard to defend that. And Isaiah Katoa is really good at that too. Like Isaiah Katoa looks like, if you ever see Josh Schuster, when Josh Schuster's in form and playing well, and this is the whole thing with Josh is when he gets so deep in the line and he plays off the opposite foot of what a usual half does, usually a half will open up their body before they shift out back. Schuster like goes off his outside foot, if you notice it, but he plays so deep into the line. Tamaida and Isaiah Katoa both had that similar look, and it really opens up the outside look, bro. It's really, really interesting thought, and it's good to having him there. Like obviously, if Sean Johnson does go down again, like I'd be happy to have Tamaida at 7. I think that we've seen this now. Like, all right, we definitely need Sean Johnson. I feel like to win, finals games and a grand final maybe and all that. But maybe Tamaida will grow into that sort of half, especially when SJ maybe leaves later on in the career or whatever happens on after SJ. You know what I mean? Because I think Tamaida still has a couple of years under his legs as well. So they'll be interesting in future football. All right, moving on to the boys up front. We'll start off with the man, the myth, the legend, Big Bunty Afoa. What were your thoughts on Big Bunty, my brother?
Yeah, bro. I thought he was solid, man. What numbers did he end up with, Ash? Do you know?
Wasn't crazy numbers, bro. Like he
wasn't messed
let me go for it.
Yeah.
He I think he only ran for like 99 meters, but just solid work, bro.
That last stint was good too. I thought that was quality. His carries in the last
73 meters, sorry, bro. 73 meters, 24 post contact, but 3 tackle breaks. But he runs in behind the ruck is what I noticed, bro. Like he's direct line in behind the ruck is so hard because he doesn't be off that line either. He's so direct.
He's good. Yeah,
he has no errors in his game either. So he's solid, bro. But
you'll take the no errors. You'll take all those types of things. No, I thought Bunty was good, man. Again, just doing what he does. We like the thing is we know his profile. We just got to accept that profile. Like he stays within that. He stays within that structure. For us to expect any more than or less is just unfair on him. And I think he does that so consistently. You got to give credit to him. And I think that's part of the reason why Webby's kept him around is like he can trust that this guy's going to be able to do that consistently every week.
Yeah.
Nothing better than knowing a guy's going to give you 0 errors, no missed tackles. For 20 minutes or whatever, 30, 40 minutes, whatever it may be. But his actual second stint was a lot better. His energy was real good. He picked the team up, I thought, in there. I thought like the one as well where he didn't, when we got the line break or the drop ball from Hammer off the kick from Tamaiti and everyone was passing around. I was like, bro, they're going to score. And then it got to him and it kind of stopped. But I was actually happy that he just settled it. I was like, the typical Warriors thing would be just through the hands and then we knocked the ball on. So, yeah, I thought he just like that. Yeah.
We've seen front rollers the last magic round or whatever, throwing cutout balls left, right, and center. Fisher Harris trying to do it. We had Terrell May put like a fucking pill on for his game with the Roosters and the Sharks. But it's good to see, that's the best thing about Bunty. He's he just does a job and he's so solid that when it comes to those moments, it's that's what you need. You don't. Sometimes it's good to have energy, throw the ball around, that's old school Warrior stuff. But also sometimes it's good to have direct runners that just understand that hold on to the ball. We need possession. We need to put pressure on a team and build pressure. And I think Bunty understands that best out of anyone.
Yeah, bro. That's it. Absolutely.
All right. So moving on to the next man up. I've lost my team list out here. Yeah, we're back on. Marata Niokore obviously started off in the middle there. What were your thoughts on probably his early stint and then his later stint on the edge? So of two looks of Marata, we've seen him in the middle. What were your thoughts on Marata in the middle to start with?
Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought he was quite solid. He just got a guy that gets through. He for me, he's just really flexible and good at what he can do. He's in any position that he's in. I thought the first stint was solid. Really happy with how he's come back from injury. I think he's looking quite good. I thought his body would look. I mean, towards the end, he looked like he might have got a bang, and I was like, "Oh no, I hope it's not anything serious." But yeah, I think he was awesome, man. Exactly what we needed, exactly what we expected from him. Rampaging runs, stiff in defense, can move off his line, can get to his next read. He can. So I think he's exactly what we've been missing, and a lot of questions to be asked moving forward about how to best use him. But just to get him again, just for guys like Marata coming back from injury, get through one game to play 51 minutes, that's great. That's the main thing. Yeah.
Unreal, bro. I think the best thing too is he's got that Mitch Barnett effect. We had a comment here. Obviously, Marata played on the edge, forward actually played in the middle. I think a lot of our edges and that we're so versatile that we've played people through the middle for stints and then we switch boys out and that. Sometimes I don't like that too much to where when it comes down to defensive systems, you don't want to get caught out with a player that's pushing in too much and not knowing his role properly and all that. But we had Mitch Barnett, maybe, he started on the edge to push in the middle and Laban came on. Marata does exactly the same thing. We got such versatility in our front row spot that we can push to edge back rollers and be damaging edge back rollers. And I thought that was a really good look. And obviously picking up a try in that edge back roll role as well later on in the game kind of just shows what we were kind of looking at the start of the season. Or not that little run that we had dropped a lot of games. We were missing one, a Marata near Cordair type, just a really damaging, aggressive edge back roller that's just going to hit the ball hard.
Just, no matter what role he's in, he can just hit that ball hard, he just, again, provides a threat that you want. And just, that try at the end, just exactly what we've been crying for. We talked about Capewell. Do you think Capewell, if he got that ball, we'd get over the line? Probably not. But that's where if you're going to get your one-on-ones with the half, that's the guy you want to go over the line. So it's exciting. Once we get back, I think after the bye, it's going to be exciting to see who all comes back and just how we're going to look. Hopefully, a lot fresher. Man, but he's awesome. He's awesome. Yep.
Bro, and a quick little shout out. Again, I know we're a Warriors channel and all that, but I want to give credit where credit is due. Isaiah Katoa, all the defense he did all night, that kid, man, solid. And having a D up on Marata's light to Katoa was on. But man, he was D'ing up.
He did it. He did his absolute best. But amazing. There's always just the one. Just get one more. Eventually, and he nearly had him. Marata was falling over the line. Katoa was awesome, bro. Absolutely.
Yeah, I thought he did a really good job against like a very scary man, a very, very scary man.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to our edge back rollers. Well, edgy, we'll call them forward packs because they rotate throughout the middle, the edge. All these boys did amazing there. But first of all, we'll touch on Jackson Ford. What were your thoughts on Jacko's game today? Obviously, just a high work rate edge back roller, as we know, he gets through a ton of work in that. But I don't think he put a foot wrong. Really, I didn't really notice anything that he really did wrong at all.
Any errors from him? I don't think so.
I don't think so from memory. I have to check the stats quickly.
He did have two. He had 2 ruck infringements. So I mean, yeah, he's kind of
one error. So
one error. Okay, but yeah, no, still just not. Yeah, I mean, he's not looking out of place. He just does his job. He tackles if you see Ford, he'll make those when the line isn't very solid, he'll make the one-on-one tackle.
Yeah.
And when JMK's broke through or whoever's broke through, he'll be there. That's the guy you want to clean up. I honestly was a bit disappointed some of the defense. There was a lot of shirt grabbing. Like the Herbie Farnworth try was I just thought that was just a big mess.
Yeah.
There's little things like that where I'm like, okay, we still haven't, tidied everything up. But to have a cleanup guy like Jacko, I thought was awesome.
Solid.
Yep. So
49 tackles, bro. 49 tackles. I think he topped our tackle count. His cleanup work is top notch.
And honestly, I think if they had stats on one-on-one tackles, leg tackles, all the varieties, I reckon he'd have, in terms of tackle efficiency overall, to be able to in all different types of he would be up there. He had some covering tackles. He did a lot of work, bro. Did a lot of work.
100%, bro. And that's the one thing with Jacko. He's just going to put in 110% every game. I've never seen a game where he's just not try to put in as much work as he could. The Dragons game, possibly, but you know what I mean? He didn't get used as much there. But, moving on to our captain of this game, and obviously the Blues representative, Mitch Barnett, baby. I just love this man. Every time I see him out there for our squad, I'm just I'm so happy we got Mitch Barnett, man. The aggressiveness, the effort, his line running. He's just really proven a lot of our points with our squad. We need an edge back roller that's going to work hard, hit those lines, and be aggressive. He's been doing that, bro. What were your thoughts on old Mitch Barnett, the Blues representative?
Bro, he's just a beast. Again, go back to last year when he got his crusher tackle. He was almost going to be medically retired, And I think it's only this year we've seen we knew his value last year, but now we've seen a big stretch of games where he's been solid, man. 174 meters, just everything you want. I think he's just a level-headed. Even on little things with captaincy is the challenges. He was quick to get the challenge done. I think the first one, what was it? What was that first challenge? You know how Tohu used to complain about Tohu being a little bit late on the challenge?
Yeah.
I think Barney was yeah.
Is that the Dylan Walker challenge, or that was an earlier one where
he got right, and I thought, good. Just trust your boys if they do. I mean, Walker was technically right, actually. It was just the palm. It was that he pushed it out with the backhand.
Yeah.
But technically, it was sneaky. It was sneaky because they couldn't technically call it because the palm wasn't facing on the ball. But it was a strip. It was a strip. But So, but he technically got it right. But what I like about it is just go and do it. Those little things like that. So from a captaincy point of view, but consistent, bro. Just his line running. Again, just draws the attention, and he was. Yeah, bro, he's been beast, and no doubt, like Richard's saying, he deserves what he gets with his. Hope he gets a crack, bro. Honestly, I know a lot of us will say, I hope he doesn't get a crack so he keeps fresh. But honestly, bro, you want to get these guys in the Origin arena just to feel it, man, and then bring it back to the club and say, brothers, we can go a bit harder. I've seen it. So yeah.
I think that's a really good comment from Tanya as well. It's when we get our boys back of injury, Capewell. Capewell's been signed to do something now. We've seen now these 2 looks at edge back rollers. We've seen a lot of good looks now. It's where does Capewell fit in this squad when he comes back? We'll have to make some big questions there. What really happens there? But I think Capewell really needs to show too of why we signed him. And there's a reason why we signed him. He's a top grade player when he's on the field, doesn't get as many injuries and stuff like that. But we're yet to sort of see a full game out of Capewell that is like, all right, this is the Capewell we wanted. We're yet to see that yet, and that's definitely a good question. We're still
He's
waiting
not.
on that.
He's not Capewell for me. I don't know why everyone jumped on to give him Capewell. He's Capewell. When I see him have a good game, he'll be called Capewell.
We're Capewell. Actually, I was got a question. Did you get to see any of the? Actually, New South Wales Cup wasn't televised on Fox or anything like that. But have you seen anything of Leka Halasima or any of the younger boys? Obviously, you've seen Laban now, but have you seen a little bit of highlight packages on Leka Halasima?
I've seen a few runs of Leka, but he looks damaging, bro. I haven't seen. I would love to watch more. Again, I don't get much of the Cup stuff, but. Yeah, well, what's your read on him, bro? You reckon he's the next best thing?
I can't wait, bro. I can't wait. Again, like I want him to continue in Cup and get consistent because he's had injuries, he's had like suspensions, he's had a couple of moments in his game and that. But when he gets back, like we're gonna have a lot of good edge back rollers that we can switch around in. Like Capewell when he gets back, we got the young kids coming through that are definitely biting at a bit to get an opportunity, like Jacob Laban, who's amazing as well. But yeah, we've got a lot of really good juniors, especially in our forward pack. Even like Sifakula finished the game today in that edge back role, and he's so big and strong, and he looks so good in like that edge back role look for us at the moment too. So will be interesting, really, really interesting when Capewell gets back.
Even the other thing I was thinking is like, I'd love to see more Dylan. It's just who can be healthy. I honestly think get the healthiest, like just get everyone healthy. Like I think even Dylan Walker, he won't be able to play this consistently.
Nah.
Yeah, so like let's not expect him to be like how he is right now. He might pick up an injury. The volume he's playing for him, so it's just a matter of like, get everyone as healthy as you can, get as in sync as you possibly can, and then obviously try and have the best players available. And towards if you're going to make a finals push, but at the moment, bro, it's just who hands on deck. Yeah.
We're touching on Mr. Dylan Walker, my bro, the 13 that we have currently at the moment. What were your thoughts on his game today? I thought like overall in general, like the game sample that we've had without Tohu has really shown that like the foot speed in the middle is like a big thing. And like, the way that we run our attacking plays, I think, the versatility of having Dylan Walker doing that opened up a lot of our attack lately. And I think you completely agree. You're the first one to really point it out. So what were your thoughts on Walks tonight in this game here?
Yeah, I've again just thought he was well balanced. Took carries when his decision making is really good. I think him and Tamaide were finding the passing range was really nice. You go at the line and you have your lead runner, but also finding the half in the right spot wasn't causing them to get jammed. So I think the little ranges, the comms and everything, or whatever's happening when Dylan's in there directing at first receiver is really good. I think everyone's benefiting off of him and his leadership, his kind of attacking structure. And I just think he's just class. He's just a class player. So I think he's just just really, really good in my eyes. And again, just like I was talking before, just keep these guys healthy. Once Tohu comes back, doesn't mean Dylan takes the role over completely from Tohu. It's finding a balance. You want to keep these guys as fresh as possible, but what he's doing to help us get these 2 wins, like, bro, we were thinking we might get one over the Dolphins, might get one. We got 2. We got Penrith and the Dolphins. Now we move into the bye and we're looking healthier. CHT's back. Like, guys are coming back. So
exactly,
he's been awesome, bro. Yeah. And he stepped up. He could have said, oh, no, I'm a bench guy. I can't really do it. He said to Webby, nah, bro, I'll do the 70 minutes that you need from me,
I've got that. Yeah, exactly. He stepped up when we really needed him to step up, especially coming back of injury early from memory. I'm pretty sure he came back early from injury. Remember, he was supposed to be out for a little bit longer, but he came back and filled in, did an amazing job. And he's just plugged along, bro. Like, he's just been incredible. I honestly think if he didn't have an injury-riddled season this season and continue to play the way he is right now, I honestly think he would have been up there for chats for Blues number 14 with the Cam McGuinness and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I reckon he would have been there. I reckon we would have had 2 Blues representatives in our team with Dylan Walker and Mitch Barnett, because I think a lot of people are starting to take notice how vital Dylan Walker is to our squad. And we've seen it lately. He's so direct, so quick with the playmaking, and really makes quick decisions, like really, really well. Like, as you touched on, he doesn't really make the wrong decision most of the time. If he sees something that's not on, just tuck it under the arm, take it up. He does that
Yep.
really, really well and finds good post-contact meters doing that. So I honestly do think that we could have had 2 Blues representatives in our squad if there wasn't for injuries with
Very,
Dylan Walker.
very possible. Yeah.
Mm.
Just quickly,
All right.
touch, Albert's he's done 2 messages. Any thoughts on that one?
On halftime, Osaka, you mean my brother? Sorry. Drop the ball when the WARs press the ball. Yeah. Why didn't the WARs challenge that? I'm not too sure. I think maybe we ran out of time. I think there was it was just before halftime. I think the referee made his decision. I think there was a lot going on in that moment. So I wouldn't put that against Mitch for not challenging that. For me, the biggest thing is usually when that sort of stuff happens, the time between when the team gets to the 20 tap, the bunker takes a look at it and he reviews it. And it never got done for us. That was a big frustration there. Again, we end up getting the winning result, and it is what it is. We won the penalty count. I'm not saying anything like that, but that was definitely a big talking point going into halftime. Is we were down into halftime, and that could have possibly put us up before halftime, and could have put a bit more of a scoreline here. But yeah, did you notice that too, bro? What were your thoughts around that? Us not getting the bunker usually steps in those decisions usually.
Yeah,
right?
when it's usually goal line stuff, they usually, and then they didn't. So I was like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I just thought you're in close to halftime. I thought, yeah, just go to the half for me. That was kind of my view.
Yeah, but you're right, bro. We all kind of think that, for us, is he dropped the ball. It was a wrong call, but again, we can't be that sort of team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the bench. So Freddie obviously took over. Oh no, actually, I didn't get a touch on Paulie Roach. Paulie Roach, bro. What were your thoughts on Paulie? I know we only got sort of a couple of minutes.
Yeah, what happened? I kind of missed he got an ankle injury. Sheesh.
Yeah,
I just thought Lussick come on. I was like, oh. Yeah, Paulie was looking good. Or surprised he started. I thought he'd be more of the impact. But what was your read on why he started? Webby kind of has him above Lussick, or was it reading too much?
I think we might have seen that, eh? I think we might have seen that. I know a lot of talk, a lot of people. I have a mate of mine that was he's not the biggest Freddie Lussick fan, and he was as soon as Freddie got named that starting role, he's like, but Paulie Roach played amazing last week, and I was like, listen, bro, settle down. There is a hierarchy here. It's the way Webby works, the way the team works, and that's how good the team should work and all that. After one good game, you shouldn't just be chuck him in there, but obviously Webby saw enough out of him in that one game to be he looked really, really good. And even for that little period, I actually thought he looked solid.
No, he's solid. His
good. Ball off the ground's good. His running game's nice. Even defensively, I thought he hit really well. So be interesting to see when he gets back healthy and all that with him and Freddie, they're fighting out for our reserve hooker role. I know Paulie's more of a half from coming up through cup and that. He's played multiple positions, and Freddie's a hooker, he's a hooker. But yeah, I thought Freddie was solid. I know we only saw a small sample, but last week he was really, really good for me. So
no, Paulie's good. He's good. He's good, bro. He's going to be a shame he went off. I thought, he's solid, and defense for me is always the main part. But shame he went off early. Would have loved to seen him get some time, but interesting that he started. I thought he would have come off the bench and maybe Lussick but maybe Lussick wasn't going to play big minutes. You don't know. Maybe he might have been doing what Paulie was doing. So interesting times ahead. Do you know what the injury was for Paulie? If it's a long term or if it's they said ankle. Ankle's usually 3 or 4 weeks. If it's that type of area. Yeah.
Usually when you see ankles and that, bro, it's usually not the best sign at all.
It's not a great sign. It's not a great sign.
No, we haven't got anything on NRL physio currently right now. Even though Paulie's not a big name player, but usually physio will keep ahead of that. But we'll keep an eye on that too. Yeah, because I've enjoyed what he's done lately. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's been awesome. He's been absolutely awesome.
Well, we'll move on to the other hooker that we had that played majority of the game. Freddie Lussick obviously had the one bad misread, but I felt like there was a marker issue as well in there. He played a defender. That marker didn't work enough, and Freddie missed that tackle to end up causing that try there. But after that, plugged along, only missed that one tackle a game, and I think he ended up finishing with 45 tackles or something like that to finish the game. So let me check here quickly. He finished with 46 tackles. So, yeah, what were your thoughts on Freddie Lussick, bro?
Yeah, I think the thing with Freddie, he's just got one of those a game, but they're always leading to tries,
Big tries, yeah.
That's where we're we want them to improve. I mean, the one from, I think he missed the one on Dom Young.
With the Roosters,
Roosters, that was a tough one. And now this one is he just set his feet and kind of But that was great marker work, but not tidy enough as a team. But overall, no, he's okay. I mean, his service is a little bit laboured. Sometimes it could be a bit sharper. But he's I think he just needs more. Well, it doesn't know that he needs more time, but he just needs to continue to grow and develop confidence.
Yeah.
These guys need to make some decisions sometimes around what they want to do with the ball. He's good at passing it off and all those types of things, but really, if you want to be an elite hooker in this game, you got to be able to manipulate the ruck yourself. You have to be able to read it. You have to be able to generate fast, quick lay the balls. You have to generate some. He's not there yet. Paulie's there. Paulie's further along in that attacking prowess. If you think from his leg speed, his kind of running style. So for me, Freddie just needs to continue to develop. I'll be a bit disappointed if he's still the same next year, or 2 years along. Then that would be like, okay, bro, we're not getting maximum value. But that's interesting thing would have been to see if Paulie was going to be playing longer minutes. Then that would tell me he's moved up the ranks on Freddie. But hard to tell. Just unfortunate with these injuries.
Yeah, I think the thing with Freddie, he had that really nice moment too, putting over Dal. Dal ran that really hard line there, and he got in between and got that really nice pass off of him. The reason why, I've always noticed this too is when halfbacks, right, when halfbacks get tested in that hooker role, the halfbacks seem to know where they want the ball and all that sort of stuff. Like Freddie, Paulie Roach, halfback, when he gets put in that hooker role, they seem to have because they got that really nice pass in general. Being a halfback, usually passing game solid and all that, but they know their ruck deception because they know what they would like to see as a halfback being outside of the line. I've seen it multiple times. Benny Hunt's come up as a halfback when he goes in that hooker role, looks better in a lot of people's eyes. Yeah, Benny looks like a gun and hooker. I have a good mate of mine that usually pops in that Brody. He plays halfback, and that is honestly one of the best halfbacks I've played with. And when he got put into hooker a couple of times for maybe he's missed a couple of training sessions for the week or whatever, and then come in, played hooker, he's looked good in hooker. And I've just noticed that it's I don't know whether it's the system or the way hookers are coming through junior systems and stuff to be defensive, to play the system and not play their hand over too much, where a halfback's got that confidence to just do what they want to do, if you know what I mean. Whether that's kind of stop the development a little bit here with a couple of players like Freddie and stuff like that. But I've noticed a lot of that. Jeremy Marshall King's a prime example of that. He was a halfback coming up through grade, got a test in hooker. Look at him now as at least a top 10 hooker in the game, a top 5 hooker to some. So
Egan was similar too. He played 5/8 or played halves. Wado. Yeah, just you got to have vision. You need as much vision in terms of as a half as you do a hooker. Different type of vision, but I think they just naturally probably bring that over from their game as well. And I think that's where that's when the when you develop and grow as a hooker, you add those parts to your game. I think that's where we're not seeing enough from Freddie is adding layers, and maybe he just needs more time. But apart from that, I think he was pretty good. I think he was pretty good service wise. Yep. Can't fault him apart from that defensive lapses, but that's kind of my thoughts.
I agree. Moving on to Tom Ale. I kind of had a little touch on Tom Ale before when we when I did my little rundown and that. I really enjoyed what Tom Ale did today. He had that one moment where he put that offload that wasn't really on, and that was the only early error I saw out of his game too much, in my opinion. But a lot of his runs and that, bro, his footwork, his speed, his tackle breakability, really, really strong. It kind of foods for the thought of what you said earlier on in the year. He's very much an impact forward. Does a lot of his running game. Defensively is where he needs to work on his game. But I thought he wasn't too bad overall today. What were your thoughts on Tom Ale?
I think I've been reading that book with my daughter. The caterpillar book. There's a hungry caterpillar. I read it to most nights.
I love that.
And they eat, and then they go into the cocoon and they become a butterfly. I think Tommy's kind of he's in the cocoon phase. He's a caterpillar, but he's now in the cocoon, and he's about to burst through the seams and become a butterfly. I think he's got maybe another year or two, and he'll just actually blow up. You can see as a running style, he nearly burst through those tackles. He's nearly on the precipice of like becoming very, very dangerous. Maybe Spencer Lenu type, but he's kind of in his cocoon phase. Yeah, the hungry caterpillar. Yeah.
Love that book.
Sorry, that's my analogy for the night. I won't do any more, but yeah, just because I've been reading that with my daughter.
Tell us you're a dad without being telling us you're a dad.
Hungry caterpillar. So he's in that cocoon phase. Yeah, he's been he's a hungry caterpillar. Now he's preparing to become a butterfly. Yeah,
I agree. I see that, bro. I see that. Everyone sees the potential in Tom Ale. It's just waiting for it to happen. You know, we've seen a lot of like other explosive props that we're looking at, but maybe we've got one here that not a lot of people are probably talking about to take over AFB. You know, when obviously Fish comes back in and all that next year and that, but when we lose a top prop, maybe Tom Ale will grow into something to be like an added for All Blake in the future. But I love that. I love that. I love that analogy.
Everyone's giving me slack. Come on, guys, man. Keeping it real. Yeah.
Let's move on, my man. We'll move on to the man with mana himself, Jazzy Tavanga. What are your thoughts on Jazzy's performance today? I think he had an error or two in this game, but also he just does what Jazzy does too. He gets through his work and just like his energy that he brings every time. Like, I love Jazzy, but what were your thoughts on his performance today?
Yeah, no, the strip was man, the Dolphins are like trying to get a strip nearly every tackle. I was getting sick of them, like, yeah, but that wasn't his. But yeah, he's had a few errors, but his energy just running, he looks healthier. If you notice, guys, after a couple of weeks of playing, they look a little bit better. Like I thought Dylan Walker, when he came in for, was it the Knights game or the one before, he looked really like labored, and now he's looking like on the pace. And I think Jazz was like,
brothers.
Yeah, he's looking sharp now, man. He's hitting that line like crazy good. Impact is like, he's been really, really good. Jazz low-key's had, and guys, remember everyone in the preseason? Remember what you guys were saying? Nah, get rid of Jazz. He's horrible. Get rid of him. And I think me and you were the only ones maybe saying, trust Jazz. He'll come right. He'll come good.
Yep.
And look what he's doing. Not perfect. We know that. We've got a few players that aren't perfect, but for his impact that he's doing, yeah, he's been awesome.
Yeah, he's been just solid, bro. Like, he's just one of those players. He brings energy, and I think, rugby league is like the main thing you need in rugby league is energy and heart, and he's got that in spades. You know, he has an error in his game every so often and that, but when he doesn't have an error in his game, he's like one of the best players on the field, in my opinion, like one of the best props on the field. Like, for his size, he just cleans up so much in our ruck. His speed. I love the hit and spin he has in his game. He seems to be pulling that off a lot now. He's like legit playing basketball out there, bro. He's just backing people down in the post, hitting spin moves on them, bro. Like,
he's good. Yeah, he did it on Leota the other week. He's found something for himself. So really, really happy with him. Really happy with him.
Really happy. And last of all, brother, Mr. Jacob Laban himself, the young man that's coming through the grade. We only got to saw like a little snippet of him again and all that, but I think he's been solid every time I've seen him. And that moment we had like that open field break, like that one where we passed it on to him, and I saw he's like getting out to stride. I was like, here we go. Like, have you seen the highlights of him in Cup or like, in Q Cup when he's played at the Dolphins? He's got some speed under him for a big boy too. So what were your thoughts on Laban, man? Obviously just a solid performance, like for the minutes that we got him.
Yeah, I thought he was like, they got 31 minutes here, and he's gone ahead a couple runs. Yeah, again, just the opportunities to play. I think he will help him grow. Like, just play, get what minutes you can, be a part of the team, be part of like all this type of stuff is like learning on the job. Experiencing losses, experiencing wins, feeling what it feels like to be around a winning team. What it requires. Learning by osmosis, learning around the guys, like watching Barnett as you're playing on the field, and like learning things. So he's done really well, man. How many games he had this year? 4 or 5 now, maybe 6.
Yeah, it's been about that, bro. It was around about that.
Yeah, and again, he's doing his job. Would love for him to get a try at some point, but again, he's not forcing it. Playing within himself. 5 games, yep. Yeah, he's playing within himself and staying kind of. And I think that's, again, credit to the guys. I think he's going to be again. He's probably more of the hungry caterpillar face.
Yeah, he's early caterpillar.
Yeah, he's an early caterpillar. He hasn't his cocoon phase, but he'll get there. He's looking good. He's looking good.
We're gonna have to get you to have like a story time or something like that on the
I
stream.
want to grab the book right now and just start reading it. It's late enough to put you guys to bed. Man,
I love it, bro.
I've got a question for you.
No,
you finish that one, and I've got a question after that.
No, you shoot, bro. Shoot from the hip, bro. Shoot from the hip. Go.
What to get a win like that? The performance. I mean, we top the run meters again. We top post contact. What does it say about missing Adam? Did we truly miss him, or are we reading too much into this? And yeah, where do you sit with him being out, getting a win, guys filling in, doing a decent job? Is that too much to read into after one game, or we need to be, or is actually now we're sweet after Adam? What's your thoughts?
I'm still the proponent of like it would be better with ads. Like at the moment, like until Fish goes in, obviously, and all that. But this season, like I wouldn't like to see ads go at all. Like I think early on in the game, we kind of forgot like how much ascendancy the Dolphins did have on us pretty early on, and that's usually where ads feasts a lot. Like early in our games, he gets a lot of big post contact meters, sets the tone. We did really well to change the momentum, and I think like that's something we've grown like to doing the season and that. But I can't be the guy. I can't. I don't know how to word it properly. Like he is a top grade prop for a reason. I know like there's a lot of questions overall of his like commitment to the squad now and everything going on the weekend. I'm still the proponent of like I just want to see how that story plays out. Like we've seen so many rumors. We've seen a lot of people that have put like rumors out on Instagram, put up that Yahoo thing saying that he's pretty much gone. He's like cut from the contract, which is not true. Like he's not done yet. And like there's a lot of positive signs to the AFB situation too of like, after that situation, if you go check on our Instagram, the reels, he's back at training. Like he's training with the boys. You saw today, he was at the game. If you've seen a lot of like proper contract dispute situations, David Norfoluma has been the most recent one. Usually players that want to get out of their contract will do things like not turn up to training after doing stuff like that. They'll really push the limit if they really want to leave. For him to be training and still with the squad, I believe there's maybe something more at play. And that's the reason why I don't want to read into it too much, because it could be a very personal thing that may be the reason why he left the team song. I know the rumor is because of bad performance and he wasn't happy about it, but I think there's something a little bit deeper there that maybe we've kind of nipped it in the butt. That's not more so of like he wanted to leave. Obviously, the manager come out and said that he will be staying with us. He's not agitating. Our CEOs came out and said that. I know they lie at times, and that's happened before, but I trust that ads will stay over the rest of the season, and I think we're a better team with ads in general. Will we miss ads without him? We've proven the last couple of weeks we didn't miss him a ton, but we would be a lot better with him, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Yeah, no, that's a good point. That's actually a really good point. I think we would, we'd be a lot better without him. Sorry, not a lot better with him. Mike, I got that wrong. I think they are great to see him. Like you said, I said there was like I did that little review, and I thought it's just a simple thing. You just have you just talk with him. What's the issue, bro? If you can't resolve it, then you move on. If you can resolve it, get him back to training, get back in, and then play next week. And I think it's kind of the latter. So that's great. Whatever it was or whatever it is, and it might be lingering. We don't know. He might be missing his family. It could be that type of personal stuff. We're not going to speculate, but whatever it is, if they can manage it, and if they both agree that they can manage it, happy. Just as long as everyone's happy. And I think we're at that point at this process that we just got to make sure that guys are he's particularly happy and everything's working out. But I think we're doing well. But like you're saying, we could benefit. We probably could have really dominated today if he was out on the field.
Especially in that early period, bro. I don't think the Dolphins would have got as much ascendancy, especially like the early part of the game, bro. I felt like we were stuck in our 40 quite a bit, and Tomate's kicking game really and Chanel had to try and get us out of trouble a couple of moments there, and the Dolphins camped out on a line for a little bit there. Even though that happened when we were on out a little bit of a slump, we saw that before the slump when everyone's playing well and everyone's playing with ascendancy. adds that extra layer of like getting into the opposite 60 and, you know,
It's you on
turning
their
that
front foot.
around.
Yeah.
I think that was a good comment I saw before. I wasn't able to bring it back up, but I think that there's a little bit too also is like having ads there. Maybe we relied on him a little bit too much, and that was a little bit of thing. And we're seeing now that boys had to step up, especially when our best players aren't there. And I think he's seen that throughout the whole squad. You know what I mean? Like we've gotten used to maybe after last year, just thinking that our gun players are just going to get us out of a hole and bang, you're going to get it done. Where I think the energy of the squad needed to lift, and everyone else needed to lift around them. So now that we proved that we could do it without him, when those boys come back, we should be able to do similar things, but on top of that also.
Yeah, I got a question for you. If we look back last year and say if Sean was out and AFB was out, do you think Tamaire and that would have put on that type of performance that they did today? Or do you think from a year of development under Webby's system, we saw the results that we're getting now? Or do you think we would have got those same results last year if, say, AFB and Sean were out? Because it's funny, Sean and AFB were hardly ever out. Do you think a year through the system we were better able to manage with them out? What's your thoughts?
I think the latter is definitely on point. I think this year the reason why this is the way I'm sort of looking at everything. I think Tamaire stepping up the way he has now, I think has come a lot from that 4 streak, that non-winning streak where everyone noticed that like the Sean Johnson Tamaire look wasn't working, and a lot of it pressure was getting put on Tamaire being the problem, right? And so when he got put into the position where he had to stand up, he got put his back against the wall. And I think we as a club got put in that position and we had to stand up. And that's what showed that the way our system works, if that makes sense. I believe that last year, if we had a similar thing, we may not have come to the point of seeing the fruits of our labor of like being on the back foot as much. And like, I think it would have crumbled our season in a couple of moments. I think having Shawnee and all that show that we can get all the way to the finals has helped us. Where if we lost Shawnee, I don't think we would have made as much inroads at the finals, in my opinion, last year. Another year in the system, we seen the system work last year, which is the reason why we had so much belief in this year to be incredible. When it came to a point that the boys weren't playing to what our standards were, their back was against the wall to stand up in those moments. So that's where I'm sort of looking at. If you get what I mean, like there's a lot of pressure that had to be a breaking point. Like the boys had to put a performance on to stand up, and they've shown that now. You know, now they've shown that they can do that. That happened last year for me. I feel like we're in that building phase, as I was like kind of what you're alluding to is if we had those players out, we're in that building phase where it may have crumbled a lot harder than maybe what it has this year, in my opinion. You know, we've seen it last year, so we know it can work. Where the year before that, of last year, we didn't see anything from Webby. So how could we believe if players were out that people were going to fill in a spot and do as good as a job? You know what I mean? So that was my whole thought on it, bro. Yeah.
And the thing is that I'm thinking this might be a blessing in disguise.
Oh, 100%.
Having Sean out.
Yep.
And not to say, oh, nah, you know, not typical Warriors fans. Oh, Sean was crap anyway. Get rid of him. You know, AFB was rubbish, man. We didn't hardly play in the Panthers game. No, we don't need him, man. Get rid of him. Sell him and let him go. Yeah. But I think in terms of like, it's helped our guys just sort of, they've had a year now to pull off a performance without those senior guys watching them, and it's like, it's awesome to see. I think we shouldn't discredit Sean and all those in AFB. I was only doing that to be devil's advocate, kind of just
100%.
See the other side of the coin and maybe ask that question. But ultimately, this time without AFB and Sean has been so huge in terms of these guys have now built their own little resume to say, yes, we can manage without them, but now we want to be more efficient, work together. And AFB and Sean, we want you to trust us. Pretty much is what they've been able to say to those guys. So it's exciting, man. I think it's going to be cool looking ahead what's going to look like. And I think it's been a blessing in disguise to get those two wins in that fashion. Man, it's been awesome. Yeah.
I think like I'm very much a guy like, you know, as you know, like probably noticed me in that I like to think deep, like a philosopher, like I like sports philosophy and stuff like that, right? There's 2 philosophies that is working really well for us this year, and I think it's a blessing in disguise. I know we didn't want the 4-game losing streak and not winning and anything like that, but it's also shown a couple of things about us. So the first thing I want to touch on is pressure makes diamonds. And it's been that's a quote that's been thrown around left, right, and center, right? And we knew that we are a better Warriors team with Andrew Webb as our coach. We knew the system's really, really good. We've seen it for our junior grade, everything like that. But we got put under pressure with those 4 to 5 game losing streak or whatever going on, 4-game losing streak, 5-game non-win streak or whatever, that we started questioning things, but the pressure really got put on those boys to make a performance. And it's really shown diamonds in the rough now. You know what I mean? We've started to see some big standout performance from players that a lot of people questioned in the past. You know what I mean? And really, a lot of people are now wanting them in the squad. Adam Pompey's, Jazzy Tavangas, like even Chanel Harris-Tavitas and stuff like that. A lot of people were questioning the start of the year. I'd be like, why do we even need them? If we see them in the squad, like why? Freddie Lussick's a big one at the moment that a lot of people are going to be up and down about, but pressure makes diamonds. We're seeing the fruits of that, like why Webby is sticking to what he's doing and what's going on. The second thing I want to sort of go off of too is now that we went through that heartache, you know what I mean? We went through that moments and stuff. We've learned what can get us out of those moments too. And it really builds a squad from that. And sort of going off Webby's coaching tenure is like a chapter. It's a chapter book, right? Of we're learning. He's first year head coach. We learned that he's got a system that works amazingly, and he got us to top 4, the best position we've been in for years, right?
Yeah.
We got to that point. Incredible. He even had moments last year where he had to fix up a couple of things. He was tinkering. Everything was looking peachy. Then everything looked like it was falling apart, where a lot of other Warriors coaches would have really struggled to turn us around.
Yep.
They've been put under a ton of pressure. But Webby's now showed people that he's slowly tinkering things. He's learned a couple of things. He's put players in positions. Probably got forced to do it as well. But that helps a person learn. You know what I mean? Now, it's the whole thing of every loss is a lesson. And that's what we should be looking at everything as, A loss sucks. We don't want to lose. We're a sporting organization. We want to win as much as we can. But we got to take every loss as a lesson and not look at it as chuck everyone out left, right, and center. It's no, let's look at it a little bit more deeper. What are we doing? What's going wrong? And I think Webby has really keyed in a couple of areas, which has really showed in the last couple of weeks of what we were doing wrong before, to where when the big boys come back, they've seen the game plan now work with all these other players. They've got to play that game plan out that or even better. You know what I mean? It's every loss is a lesson. If we didn't have this, bro, we may have had this later on in the season and crumbled before the final series and really fell off, Yeah. It's probably happened. It's a blessing in disguise in a little bit. So that's my thoughts overall.
Yeah. So Tamai is pretty much Tom Brady, you're saying?
Pretty much. He's Russell Wilson before Russell Wilson fell off the cliff.
But yeah, Bledsoe got injured and then Brady came in and then the rest is history. But no, I think these are blessings in disguise. And we got the team are on a positive. The club's to sell out again is awesome. On a Sunday night when people, that kind of time is so late, but man, to get that, and so I just think it's awesome to, you have to have some setbacks. I think Webby tinkered a little with a few things. He saw Paulie Roach. Who would have thought of Paulie Roach? He might not even got a shot this year. So we got to see guys that we didn't usually see. Tough for Graham today again, just another opportunity to get yourself on tape and on the and then he's been able to get guys like Ale going too, Laban's giving them some minutes and they haven't looked out of place. So I just give it up to the system and the club. Yes, Jason and Webby we trust, absolutely.
Webby we trust.
Yeah, but like you said, good time to do it right now, and then go into the bye and far out we can really start to look ahead. Yeah.
Pick up our lessons while we can and while we still have an opportunity to learn from these lessons. And like you kind of touched on before the season, we got to prove to beat the big teams in the competition. We beat the Panthers last week. You know what I mean? We didn't do that last year, and we could have possibly lost a lot of other games. Remember the end of the year, we could have lost the Dragons game, the Rabbits, the Raiders game, and all that could have all fell apart, but it didn't. This year, it kind of looked like it was going to fall apart, but we made it past that currently.
And then the Panthers unleashed on the Sharkies because
the Sharkies. Bro, how good does that make us look at the moment? We did it without
because we beat the Panthers. They had to unleash on the Sharks. Poor Sharkies.
I love the comment section, bro. The NRL one. It was so I think there was a Warriors fan that jumped in there and goes, well, the Warriors beat the Panthers. Does that make us the best team in the competition? And then someone commented on that. It's like, well, that means was it the who did we lose to? The Roosters beat the Warriors, so they're the best team in the competition. And it was like, but didn't the Roosters get beat by the Sharks? So
hey, just quickly, guys, we've got 95 likes. Please give us, if you're in here and you haven't given us a like, please give us 5 to get to 100 live. 100 live likes is massive for us. We appreciate that. And 111 watching. And if you are new here, just quickly click on that subscribe button as well. Appreciate all the support. We're loving it. Loving chatting with you guys as well. 202 across all platforms. That's definitely the highest we've ever had. So appreciate it, guys. Appreciate it.
100%, bro. Well, what do you reckon? Do you reckon we'll end off on the New South Wales squad here, bro? I know you're a Blues fan now, or do you want to leave that for the Tuesday show?
We'll just quickly look over it. So Dylan Edwards got in, bro.
There you go. Dylan Edwards over Teddy.
That is
thoughts as a Blues fan, bro.
Teddy's been mean though, but don't mind it. Don't mind it, to be honest. I think Edwards is going to get a shot. I think it's like Madge is probably trying to set a foundation moving forward. So I think that's kind of like, I think he's trying to set his team, like Lomax as well. Kind of picking on form a little bit. I respect that. So he's got Nico Hines there. Now Nico was a little bit injured, right?
Yeah, so he has a little bit of an injury cloud, but we see Matt Burton and Luke Keary picked as that 18th, 19. So
shout out to Keary, man. Has Keary ever played in the Blues?
There was a point where he was, but there's a little thing on Keary, and I know a lot of people like, the Queenslanders, like, is New Zealand and Queensland, like, I don't know, all those sort of like chats and stuff, but pretty sure Luke Keary was a Queenslander that wanted to play Blues. Yeah. I think there was a little story back in the day of it, but he's a Blue.
We'll trade Greg Inglis for Keary. He can have Keary back.
That's a great trade. I'll take that
one. A bit surprised that they went with Robson over who's Uppy. Yeah, that's kind of a little bit of a shock to me. He's gone Payne and Travojevic, Liam Martin, Angus Crichton. Yeah, that's all right. McInnes, Yo at 14, Olukwatu at 15, Lenu, Hudson Young. Nah, I don't rate him personally. Burden, I'll have Barnett, and it's kind of an okay squad, but at the same time, it kind of feels like not very safe.
Yeah,
for me, there's some vulnerabilities there. Like, I don't know what it's missing though, but yeah.
There's a couple of interesting shouts. So, like, I did my team list and stuff on, was that Friday, Saturday? If you haven't got checked them out, go check them out on YouTube, on TikTok, wherever you want to check them out and that. But I got a lot of these picks here. Like, I had Dylan Edwards in the fullback position. I had Brian Toto. Like, everyone should have had Brian Toto. If you didn't, then you probably don't know rugby league football. Stephen Crichton in centre. Yep, I agree. Joseph Suoliti at centre is an interesting one. I chucked up Jesse Ramian, but I can see Joseph Suoliti at centre. Played good in centre this year. Hasn't been, like, he's had moments of really, really great form, but he's also had earlier on this year, I don't think he was in incredible form, if that makes sense. But he's getting a shot. He's an incredible talent. He'll go really well there. Zach Lomax gets a wing spot. I would have had Joseph Suoliti in the wing, Jesse Ramian in the centre, but I think Lomax has been in incredible form this season. Didn't have the best game the other night against the Dogs, but he's been incredible form. Like, we saw him against us, you know what I mean? Like, he's kick chase and all that, incredible. That halves pairing is the one I looked at. I think Jerome Luai is one of the most slept on players in the competition, mainly because of the way he acts, you know what I mean? Like, when people see a guy act like the way he is, like, they discredit him a lot, but he's been killing it. Like, he killed the Sharkies on the weekend. Like, he was incredible. Jake is captain is a good one there. That was a big thing for me. It was like, if you got Jake, I think Jake's only there for his leadership. I don't think anything else about Jake other than his defense really is there for me. His attack's not there for me. I know he scored over the weekend again, like, proves me wrong a little bit, but from there, like, well, he's good for like 80 meters a game, but he's great at snapping blokes. That's probably the best thing about him, is setting the tone.
Yeah.
Reece Robson's an interesting one. I'll pick Coruscant, but I can see that. Reece is a bigger body. probably more suited to the Origin Arena. Like loves the grindy work and that. His work out of dummy half's really, really nice. Payne Haas is a given. Liam Martin for me was a given, but I actually had Liam Martin off the bench. And my thought on that, bro, was more of a fact of like, I could actually see Liam Martin being played as a middle more so. Even in the future, when they lose Fisher Harris, they bring Isaiah Papali'i. I think Liam Martin will more so shift into a middle because he loves to get into the dirty stuff and defensively, he likes to set the tone. I'd love to see him come off the bench and like if the momentum changes to the Maroons, he definitely stopped us last year. I think last year from note when he came on and he just was belting our boys. And I was like, this guy off the bench, he's damaging. I would have had Olakau'atu had a longer minute role, in my opinion. Angus Crichton's been good. Cam McGuinness, we heard the rumors of him at 13. Yo off the bench is an interesting one if that's the way the team list is going to go. Spencer only had like 3 or 4 games back off the suspension. So I'd never saw that call, honestly. In my opinion, I wouldn't have had him. I wouldn't have had Hutto. I had Barney and all that over Hutto. I even had like Thomas Hazelton. I've loved Thomas Hazelton. So
Hazelton's a good shout. I don't know why he wouldn't get a go like right now.
Yeah, I think it's more so because he's still early on in his career, but he's been crazy good form.
Chuck him in there, man. Chuck him in there right now.
Matty Burton's actually clicked into good form lately. He's one that I questioned because early on in the season, I didn't like him, like still like the questions around him at 6, but he's starting to really come along now with that doggy squad. And to finish off, like, bro, Luke Keary for me shouldn't have got a role. I don't think so. I think he probably had other players.
You probably
there.
needed a different type of halfback cover for me. Yeah, that's again just a loose. You know what? Mitch Barnett actually makes sense in the starting role. Like
I love Mitchie at starting. Yeah,
Mitchie and Payne, like I said, and then you like the Travojevic, McInnes, and Yo. They're all like very similar. I'm really interested why they've gone. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. You either commit to Yo as a 13 or if they're giving it McInnes. Why do you think they've gone with McInnes and then Yo off the bench?
So if you take like, I think they're going to use Isaiah Yo more as a middle forward off the bench, or like the whole Ruben Cotter situation at the Cowboys. So as soon as Isaiah comes onto the field, he'll be more of a link man, and Cam McGuinness will be more of a cleanup worker, like a Jazzy Tavanga, like a Ruben Cotter is for Queensland and stuff like that, right? For me, off the bench doesn't really make sense because I think Isaiah Yo is good for like picking up reads early on in the game and using that later on. Like he's a longer minute forward for me. But I guess he's got a view on him being a front rower, maybe off the bench, in my opinion. Really interesting for me, bro. Like, honestly, if you want to give like if my thoughts over here, the people that scare me personally as a Queenslander, right? First of all, Brian Toto and like Zach Lomax and stuff out of the back end.
Lomax gives you a bit of fear, eh? Like he does.
It's the unknown with Lomax.
He's the unknown. Yeah. The X Factor of Lomax.
Yeah, sort of the same as Joseph Suli'i. Like he just like the talent is there. It's just like them turning up on the big stage is the big thing. But for me, bro, honestly, the names that I'm looking on the paper and I go, fuck, I don't want to see him. Liam Martin's a big one. And Mitch Barnett. Like for me, being a Warriors fan, I know what would go really well in an Origin series as a Maroons fan, all that sort of stuff. And Mitch Barnett's got Origin written all over him. He's legit like our Lindsay Collins type, but probably a lot more aggressive. Like he's out there to be a hitman and he's out there to change the game. And that's what scares me. That's why it scares me about Liam Martin. And that's what the Maroons do so well is like they have those moments where they got those players that become the hitman. You know what I mean? So those are the players I worry about.
The halves, I think just be interested. Like I think maybe you start Olakau'atu. Yeah, like you said, put Liam on the bench as like an impact forward. Use Olakau'atu as a starter, and then maybe bring him off, or you can mix and match how you want. Lenu, they'll probably go with like a Burton as a number 17 kind of cover. I'm trying to think who your cover guy is. Yeah. Oh man, I really want to just maybe we'll weigh it up on Wednesday because we'll see that
Maroon squad
tomorrow.
Yeah,
this is Madge's first test. He's gonna have to really. I like I like Lomax. It's Saw Lee can be dangerous too if you give him too much space. Like their back line's solid, bro. If they're all on, like the back five. Yeah, I like that back five. Travojevic for me, yeah. I'm interested to see how that all goes.
I'm excited because, like, if you think, like, so this is a team I named for Queensland. If you want to put them up against each other, there'll be a couple of changes here because I have a feeling that Murray Taulagi will get a shot. And I love Muzza. I wanted to put him in, but like the form, and he came out in media said he probably won't be picked for Origin, but I have a feeling he will. But anyway, Walshy's got to be our fullback, and like that's got to be like, as a New South Wales fan, it's like Walshy's just that type of guy that's just going to have points in him. Yeah. Selwyn Cobbo and Xavier Coates on my wings. So we got Coates that's going to be that finisher and that work out of the back end. Selwyn Cobbo is just the freak of nature. Then you got the Hammer and Holmes in centers. So the Hammer's speed. That's what I want, speed. So we got to look at Suoli'i and Crichton defensively. Suoli'i is the one I'm going to be like, I thought Suoli'i was good defensively against the Sharks in moments. From memory, because he had the switch edges and that. But him versus the Hammer is going to be a really interesting matchup because the speed of the Hammer has caused a lot of people some havoc.
But the physicalness of Sort Lee will be good too against Hammer. See if he can contain him.
It's that battle. Whoever gets on top first. DC and Dearden is my halves pairing because obviously Munster's out.
Why didn't you go with what's the name of the guy from Broncos? Ma'am, yeah.
Defensively, bro. He's either the second worst defensive six in the competition or the worst.
Is he?
Yeah, bro. His tackle efficiency is like 73, 74%. And he's already conceded 11 tries for the Broncos this season. Tom Dearden 5. And we've seen Tom Dearden. He's one of the better defensive sixes in the competition. 87% tackle efficiency. Doesn't miss a lot of tackles.
Yeah, that's good.
And attacking wise, like Mam's a freak of nature. Mam will pull anything out of nothing. But Dearden reminds me of Ben Hunt. I've always said it. He reminds me of Ben Hunt. He's just that type of guy. Front rowers, Lindsay Collins, Ruben Cotter. Edge back rowers, Jeremiah Nanai, Jaden Sewer. And my 13 is Paddy Carrigan. And don't stress, Dave Fafita is coming off the bench for me. Yeah. So there's my rotation there. Jaden Sewer is going to be my hitman. I want him to be out there, and I want him to give it to Nico Hines or Jerome Luai. And just whatever you got to do, get under their skin. Same as Ruben Cotter. Ruben Cotter is that type of guy for us. And to finish off the rest of the team, Harry Grant's my 9. Benny Hunt's my 14. Hopgood's my 16. And Fodder is my 17. But I'm hearing a lot of rumors that Corey Jensen is probably going to get a shot here too. So,
which one's Corey Jensen?
He's the 8 for the 10 for the Broncos, or the 8. I'm pretty sure Haas is the 10. Haas is the 8, sorry.
Oh, so Jensen. Okay.
Yeah. Just a plug and play type of front rower. I would have rather Fodder on that, but I could easily see Sewer off the bench being a middle forward too. I don't know, but that was my sort of look. So,
yeah, consistency. The Maroons, bro. They'll be. Yeah, they keep doing it, man. So yeah, but I think. Yeah, we just have to wait and see. I'm really interested to see what the squad that Billy picks. Yeah, bro. Do you think they go with more? Because even the idea of Mam is quite exciting from an attack, but Walsh can be a bit loose. Like I think, if the Blues can contain the outside men, and then they can. There's a chances there, but interesting. Yeah, interesting, bro.
All right, bro. Well, we may as well end it off on that. We've got obviously an amazing show coming Monday night. Jossie Gage and Levon's going to be on Monday night. And also Tuesday night, we're going to be touching on the Origin, of course, as well, with also our 1K stream. So, guys, please make sure you rock up to that. Levon's got a little bit of a surprise for you on that stream as well, too. A little giveaway that you want.
Yeah, do a little giveaway. Yeah. So come along, everyone. Play a bit of a Kahoot. So, yeah, we'll show some love. Hey, 117 likes. Thank you, everyone, for amazing night supporting us, and we do appreciate it. You want to see Josh Hill's having a few battles in the chat. That's all good, bro. Everyone's going a bit hard in the chat. We love it. We love it. Stay safe, everyone. But to everyone that's supporting us, we appreciate you guys. Ash doing a wonderful job as well, man. Hey, we go into the bye now. Yeah, we'll do our 2 shows. Wednesday, you're going to do your show as well. You'll be clicking
I'll
along
probably
with
do
that.
whatever the big, topics are. Probably more of an origin type stream, but get excited for that.
What about we do a watch along, a Origin watch along, brother? Keen?
Ooh, I like that. I like that. Yes, I'm down with that, brother.
Yeah. But appreciate everyone. That's all I got to say, man. Thank you very much, everyone. Appreciate it. Love you.
Yeah, love you guys. Take it easy. Up the wires, baby. Good win this weekend. Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's go. Up the wires.
man, brother.